Welcome everybody back into Dahm. That's true. Today, we've got a jam-packed episode for you. We're talking AFC Championship preview. We've got a guest. Hannah learns to read.
Not jelly.
Logan himself. We've got what?
I said not jelly, jam.
Oh, yes.
Not jelly packed.
You know what the difference between jelly and jam is, Owen?
Yeah, I do know the difference between jelly and jam.
It's
I don't
the
think we
fact-
should tell it on the podcast though.
Is that not?
I think we can leave it up to the imagination, and we might be a bit funnier.
Fair enough. Hey, if you guys really want to enjoy Dahm, that's true. We got a little homework project. Google what the difference between jelly and jam is. All right. Hey, let's get this episode rolling. Oh, welcome everybody back into another episode of a Dahm. That's true. Of course, I'm your host with the most, Truman Steam Machine Steen. As always, I'm joined by the beast with the least, Owen Domination and Dahm. Owen, what are you laughing about?
I'm just so with the cold open. I'm just imagining, Mom, what's the difference between jelly and jam?
I imagine because I know our audience. It's not large. I can imagine that it's some 4-year-old just turns to his girlfriend and is like, "Do you know the difference between jelly and jam?" I just imagine his girlfriend just coming over to just dunk on him and be like,
Yeah, I can't.
yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody say hello to Hannah Learns to Read, twitch.tv/Hannah Learns to Read. Logan, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. How are we feeling headed into AFC Championship weekend?
I know. Excited
Once
for this
again,
AFC Championship
that's two appearances in a row this January.
Yes. Logan,
Oh, yes.
do you know the difference between jelly and jam?
See, I was trying to work out a beautiful Shakespearean way to phrase what the Bengals are going to do to the Chiefs this weekend. I could not get the phonetics right, though. So I have to pass on the joke. I was trying to work it out. Get some nice iambic pentameter in there, but I couldn't get it fast enough. So
Wow.
I'm not a good content creator.
Oh, I don't even know what that word means, so that's cool. Do you know the original answer to the joke?
Yes.
Okay.
I got
Fair
I got absolutely rocked with it in 8th grade lunch.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Didn't
I'll
we all?
never forget it.
Didn't we all?
Yes. Hey, well, we appreciate you having Logan on the show today. We've got to have a Bengals fan. We've got a couple Bengals fans friends. We've done Chase in the past. We've done Logan some of these times, so we'll bring back Logan for this episode. Very excited. So again, a reminder: we're going to talk Chiefs versus Jags takeaway. I'm very interested in seeing your takeaways from this, Logan. We've also got.
I want my episode next season, bitch.
We're going to talk. Yeah. Okay. We'll watch more than 2 games. We'll have you on next year. Sorry.
Because I'll move away and everything you got me virtual.
Yeah. And then we'll talk about Mahomes' injury. We're going to talk about Chiefs versus Bengals
Hey,
preview.
real
We're going to
quick.
talk score predictions.
Real
We're
quick,
going
we
to
could talk about our off-season content real quick for 2 seconds.
yeah,
What do you think the score of Toronto Islanders was tonight?
5-2.
It was 5-2.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
And I thought about betting Islanders. Thank God I didn't.
Yeah, we're going to talk possible Super Bowl matchups. We're going to talk Bills. We're going to talk what it looks like going forward. We're also going to talk a little bit of betting as we always do, and we're going to talk top 5 movies that need a remake. I saw a movie.
Ooh.
I saw it was Megan, the movie last night, and I was telling Joe that it made me realize that one certain movie that you've probably never heard of in your life needs a remake, and that's why this whole category started. And on the downside of that is I've only had that movie written down, so I'm gonna have to think of 4 others that need remakes. So, all right, let's get into it. Let's start where we always start with a little Chiefs versus Jaguars recap. So to recap here. Chiefs won 27-20, a 7-point win over the Jaguars. Logan, what were your initial thoughts? As a Bengals fan, what were your initial thoughts on kind of what you think that the Bengals, or what is your takeaway? Do you feel better about the Bengals? Feel worse? I mean, how do you feel about the Chiefs after what you saw?
I'm sorry. Are we still in reference to the Chiefs-Jaguars game?
Yes, in reference to Chiefs Jags.
Yes. I thought, now, important context, I was watching the ESPN live, game cast because I was at work all Saturday, so I didn't get to watch either of those games live.
No, that's fair.
I did go back and watch the highlights. The thing that stuck out to me the most is that it seems like the Chiefs' offense was much more tempered in this game of their own choosing. and I think that bodes very well for the Chiefs going forward. If you remember the last time I was on here, or maybe it wasn't last time, but one of the previous times I was on here. So the thing that seems to be the Achilles heel of the Chiefs, which there is not much, is their own hubris. And for this game, it stuck out to me that there was not a whole lot of wow, merry-go-round to get into the formation against the Raiders, super over-the-top play calling, and played real game-winning championship-style football.
Listen, I think, as for the Chiefs, I think, one, they don't need to have the fun merry-go-round stuff. But I think also, especially for a game like in the divisional round, you're probably saving those. I imagine you're going to see some of that bullshit when they come to play this week. I imagine you save it for games like that. I think they showed what they did against the Raiders. It's probably not going to matter. But I will say that those games like that, those moves do have a purpose. The purpose of Snow Globe, as they're calling it, is basically to spin, and then you see the formation at the last minute. And what you couldn't calculate fast enough was, Travis Kelce and Juju Smith-Schuster are all on the same side of the formation. So they throw it out they hand it off to Jerick, and you don't realize that Jerick McKinnon is also taking the Wildcat snap. There's a lot of things for you to see all of a sudden. And so Jerick McKinnon's taking the snap. He's throwing that to Mahomes. And while you're worried about Juju and Travis Kelce being on the same side of the formation, Kadarius Toney's all the way on the other side. And so it does serve some sort of purpose, as a lot of those things do, where, Chiefs in the Super Bowl was the Rose Bowl parade right, where Mahomes is in the getting ready to take the snap, and then they all do the big circle shift to the right, and then Travis Kelce is all of a sudden in the Wildcat snap, and he takes the Wildcat snap and runs for a first down. It's all to hide some ulterior motive. I mean, this isn't all for shits and gigs sometimes.
Now, I wasn't debating if it was all for shits and gigs. I know it's not. I know it serves a functional purpose, but the point being, much like in the AFC Championship game last year, when they relied on that little gimmick pass for Tyreek before the end of the first half, as long as that is embedded in the offensive play calling DNA, I don't think the Chiefs can win.
Right. I think that's fair. I think without a there's certain buzzwords that are used to knock down players.
Sure.
You say gadget players, gadget offense. Without Tyreek Hill, who is maybe one of the more gadget, unique talents in the NFL, you get rid of some of those gadget plays like that we saw with Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, the gadget yards leader.
Yeah, but the issue is that those gadget plays were, I think, also somewhat Kansas City's bread and butter on a 3rd and 1. It's for somebody, I don't know if you're not watching the Chiefs every week, but for us who watch the Chiefs are the best in the league from 3rd and long, but they're the worst in the league from 3rd and 1, which is
3rd and 1. I will say 3rd and 1. We are the worst in the league.
It's just terrible.
We can't fucking do it.
Well, because you have a quarterback that can't QB sneak, especially now with Mahomes' ankle. You have you just have to do unoriginal dive plays with your running back, and it just doesn't work.
It's
just not
weird.
It's not this offense's
It's
bread
so
and butter.
bizarre because this is a team that runs on first down with 8 down linemen for 8 yards all the time.
Right.
But for some reason, you get in that 3rd and short, 2nd and short, no problem. 3rd and short, all of a sudden, your regular ass plays just don't fucking work anymore. It's so weird.
And they've tried some bullshit. Last year, Michael Burton, the fullback, went 7 for 7. Handoffs that they handed off to Michael Burton, he went 7 for 7 first downs. This year, I don't believe he's gotten a single first down. I think they've only handed it to him 2 or 3 times. And every time they've handed it to him, it's been a fucking disaster. So just a lot of weird things that we'll just, we'll let you know, because I am hoping you're not going to let the Jacksonville Jaguars staff know. I'm all right. No, I'm good. But, just to let you know.
But by the way, I did want to throw this out there. My biggest takeaway from the Jags game has nothing at all to do with the Chiefs. It has to do with Trevor Lawrence being a for real number 1 overall pick. And depending on how the Jags move forward this offseason, can be real contenders next year. I was extremely impressed with him.
Honestly, I was saying the same things to my friends. I was saying the same thing. I was like, Trevor Lawrence is very good, especially after watching that Chargers game. I know he threw, four picks?
4 picks in the first half.
Right, like I
And
know he can
bounced
be,
back.
and he did well against the Chiefs, but then he threw that pick, and that was a bad pick. It was behind his wide receiver on a 10-yard, 10-yard streak, and I was like, that he misses some throws, but then again, he's still a young quarterback. I do think he's going to be very good though.
He
I'm
also
not trying
got
to. I'm not trying
absolutely
to
smoked on that play.
like I'm not trying to insult Joe Burrow when I say this, but Trevor Lawrence kind of looked like first year Joe Burrow in that playoff game. Like you can see that the talent is building there,
Towards ACL.
and he could be good, but it wasn't quite there yet.
Fair enough.
I actually fully agree with that assessment, Owen. I think that's a very astute observation. You can see the potential sitting there.
But here's the downside to thinking like that. The question, you guys have used this game as a validation of Trevor Lawrence as a first overall pick. I will warn you of 2 years ago when Baker Mayfield came into the Chiefs, came into Arrowhead, or was that last year? No, it was 2 years ago. Sorry. Last year, different. 2 years ago, Baker Mayfield comes into Arrowhead. Patrick Mahomes gets hurt. They play a game close.
No, that was last year.
And then, no, that was 2 years ago. That was the Bucs Super Bowl year. That was COVID year.
No, because we beat the Browns, then we played the Bills.
We did
dude.
not play. No.
Yes.
Last year, we played the Steelers, then the Bills, then the Bengals.
I forgot that we played the Steelers.
Yes, because it was such a joke of a game. But do you
my
remember that
gosh.
they did not? Neither team scored in the first quarter. Then T.J. Watt scored to put the Pittsburgh Steelers up 7-0 with about 7 minutes left in the second quarter. And then at halftime, it was 21-7 Chiefs. That was a weird game.
That is a playoff game that I literally remember none of.
Okay, all right,
At all.
sorry. But
That's
you've got
crazy.
me off topic. So
Anyway, my bad.
Baker Mayfield 2 years ago came in, did the same thing essentially. He took the Chiefs to the brink. They lost by one possession. It was a little closer. Chad Henne had to scramble out. He barely missed the first down. They had to go for it on fourth down. He throws out Tyreek Hill.
And there was that
catches it.
quote,
gets it.
the quote, unnecessary roughness calling Dan Sorensen when they were at the dive for the pylon made it controversial.
Well, they didn't call the unnecessary roughness.
Right.
Yes. So, but Baker Mayfield took him to the brink, and you might have said the same thing after that because Baker Mayfield beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then he came into Kansas City and barely lost. And then 2 years later, he's fucking on the Rams, as a terrible quarterback. He's got passed around. He's been awful. I agree what you guys are saying is that Trevor Lawrence has flashed his potential. But I would say Baker Mayfield also flashed his potential. And it would all come down. Freddie Kitchens is a worse coach than Doug Peterson.
I'll also tell you
And
this.
it'll all
Joe.
come down to
I'll
what
also
happens
tell you this
there.
though.
Or Nick
Trevor Lawrence is throwing to Christian Kirk and
Sorry. Not Freddie Kitchens. Sorry. It's the other one that they've got now. It's not Sirianni.
it's the guy that was on the
Oh, my God.
the guy that was on the Vikings.
Hey, you're in there.
Stefanski.
Yes. Kevin Stefanski, yes.
But Baker Mayfield's throwing to Jarvis Landry and OBJ in that game.
Trevor Lawrence is Christian Kirk and Zay Jones. They've both been playing
They're
pretty well.
not-
And Evan Ingram. He's a
You
solid,
cannot tell me that OBJ and Jarvis Landry is on the same level as Christian
solid
Kirk
group of
and Zay
options. I don't
Jones.
think OBJ was playing. I don't think OBJ's ever played in the playoffs for the Bills, for the record.
But even having Jarvis Landry on the field, Christian Kirk and
Jarvis
Zay Jones.
Landry were
No.
almost similar, I
Stop.
would say.
Stop.
Yes.
No.
This is a similar group of options.
Christian Kirk was a third option in Arizona that got a chance in Jacksonville because they were the worst team in the league.
I'm just saying, I appreciate what you guys do. Trevor Lawrence did show up. He did play well, but at the same time, I don't think, for me and my eyes, personally, it doesn't validate him as a first overall pick for me.
Here, I want to get both of your opinion on this real quick. On that overthrow that everyone's talking about, where everyone was saying Chris Collinsworth was calling it wrong, I think that's an overthrow. If your wide receiver is diving to his front left, that's an overthrow, right? Am I crazy for thinking that is an overthrow, or am I just seeing through Chiefs tinted glasses?
Logan, do you have any thoughts on this?
I think without knowing what the actual play call was, it's just speculation at this point, if that makes sense. Like, because none of us actually know where the receiver was supposed to be on that route concept, you can definitely look it through a two-way mirror and decide.
I will say everybody highlighted that as a dick riding comment by Chris Collinsworth because he had been dick riding Mahomes, and Mahomes had spiked a ball into the ground. He was like, so smart, so good, which it was sort of, but
he
also
wasn't. He wasn't trying to spike. He was trying to hold on to that.
Yes,
ball.
I think he was trying to pump it and just threw it a little hard. And then he hits Christian Kirk in the hands and he calls it an overthrow. Even if you dive, you're an NFL
I think
wide
there's a
receiver.
difference in between diving and hitting in the hands and jumping and hitting in the hands. There's absolutely a difference.
I don't think so.
There's absolutely a difference.
Listen, that ball should have been caught.
I don't think. I don't know.
That ball should have been caught.
That's crazy. That would
If
be
you're
a crazy
getting paid
catch.
that much money as a wide receiver, that ball needs
Christian
to be caught.
Kirk
maybe.
resetting the wide receiver market
Listen,
should catch
listen.
that
If
ball.
you're looking over your shoulder and diving away from where you're looking to catch, that is a Sports Center top 10 catch.
No, he was not looking away. It was very in stride.
I-
It was okay.
It
All
was-
right, let's keep
disagree.
moving here to get through this Jacksonville. Real quick, do either of you feel like the Jaguars let an opportunity slip away?
No, I don't think the Jags were really that close in that game.
See, I feel the same.
Yeah,
But Logan,
I
how
thought
do
it
you
was
feel
pretty
as
comfortable
an
for the Chiefs.
outsider?
I agree with that assessment. I don't believe it was an ass stomping by any means. I think it was still a respectable performance, especially for Trevor's first road playoff game
absolutely.
at Arrowhead, no less.
Yes.
So I think there's definitely some positivity if you're a Jags fan or a Jags player out there to take from that. But no, if I recall correctly, the only reason it was a 7-point game was a backdoor
Yeah, it was a backdoor.
touchdown towards the end.
No, they kicked a field goal with fucking
And then
2
went on to
minutes
kick
left
a.
just to beat the spread. You motherfucker.
No. My down the street neighbors from my parents' house, they were talking about how everyone in the house had Chiefs minus 6.5. So they were happy they kicked that field goal
Minus 6.5. They bought an alternate line.
everyone took. Sorry, Jags plus 6.
8.5.
No, it was Chiefs minus 6.5.
No,
so they
it's
still
Chiefs
won.
minus 8.5.
If
Promise.
you take minus 6.5, you still win
Yes, but that's an alternate spread. Why are they taking? And why would they cheer for that?
because they won still.
But why would they cheer
The
for
Chiefs
them
won
to
by
kick a
7.
field goal? It doesn't.
Because that means that their bet didn't lose.
What? No, them kicking the field goal. No, that
If you
doesn't
take
change
Chiefs
anything for them.
minus 6.5,
They were
and
winning
you
the
win
bet
by
either
7.
way. Whether or not Jacksonville goes for it.
No,
on fourth
If
down,
they get a
no.
touchdown, that bet loses. Truman.
No, that doesn't make any sense. They all had Jags plus 8.5. Is my
Truman.
guess.
No.
I'm
If you
telling
have
bro.
Chiefs minus 6.5 and they
Yes,
score,
it would win, but that's an alternate spread. Why would they all take an alternate spread?
I don't fucking know.
That
Don't ask
doesn't.
me.
That doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. I think you're misremembering.
They all won the bet
Yes,
because they kicked a field
because
goal.
they
instead of
probably
score-
had Jags plus 8.5. That doesn't make sense. They took
They
an
told me
alternate.
they had Chiefs
the
minus
entire
6.5.
family took a minus 140 bet. They all went on to FanDuel, found alternate spread, and went Chiefs minus
Don't yell at
6.5.
me. I'm just relaying what I was
This
told.
is a stupid. No, I'm yelling at you because I think you're misremembering. That doesn't make any sense.
No, they had.
Why would they cheer for a Jaguars field goal?
Because it wasn't a touchdown, Truman.
Bro, they still win and kick the onside kick. It doesn't mean they win.
Question for better.
What are you not understanding? Hold on, Logan, hold on. Truman is not understanding something here.
I do understand.
Okay. What is the difference in between a 4-point game and a 7-point
They're
game?
at the 40-yard line. They're at the 40-yard line.
If they get a touchdown, does a Chiefs
When
minus
it's
6.5
4th
bet
and 8,
lose?
I would have celebrated them going for it because that would mean they absolutely lost the bet. They are much closer to winning the bet to
First
losing
of
their
all,
bet when the
it was
Jaguars
3rd
kick a
and
field
8
goal.
when they kicked that field goal.
No, it was 4th and 8.
I don't think it was 4th down.
It was 4th down.
I don't think so.
A fiver.
I'm not betting a fiver on
Brother,
you
I was
misunderstanding what I'm saying.
All right. Now I'm going to pull it up just because if you're not going to bet it, I'm at least going to prove you're
You
wrong.
are
Luckily, I've done-
misunderstanding what I'm saying.
No, I understand what you're saying, but
love
that doesn't
this
make
show.
sense for them to sell. Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. I appreciate you being on here. But that doesn't make sense that they would celebrate that.
Yes, it does.
I would celebrate them going for it on 4th and 5, which is what the down was. Don't fucking question me that it was
Truman,
third
they were
down.
driving the
But
ball
fuck
at
you for
will.
questioning me
They
that it
were
was third
driving
down.
the ball at will.
No, they were not. Owen, the drive had gone Jacksonville first down. Then they went incomplete. Oh, sorry, complete for 5 yards. It was 4th and 5, my guy.
Yes, they kicked the field goal.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. No.
What I'm saying
it does
makes
not
sense.
make any sense.
What I'm saying makes
they
sense.
shouldn't have then they're idiots. Then your friends down the streets are idiots
they
for
all
celebrating.
won the bet though. So
Okay. All right. Move it on. So Logan, you don't feel like there's an opportunity that slipped away. So I would say personally, I do not think either this win made me feel the way that both the Bills almost losing to the Dolphins I'd say the Dolphins were closer to beating the Bills, and I think we can all sit here and agree that the Ravens were much closer to beating the Bengals than the Jags ever were to beating the Chiefs.
The Ravens had the best defense in the entire AFC coming into the playoffs.
God, but the Ravens defense has just been torched.
Listen, I
In
don't
what
know.
metric do they have the best defense?
Well, listen, the only
Points per
difference
game, I'm
is
pretty
that
sure.
Jacksonville didn't have the ball and fumble a fumble return 6, like which happened to the Bengals.
Bills still had the best defense in the AFC.
In points allowed?
Yes.
Hmm.
Coming
It's 'cause
out
they
of the
didn't
regular
play the
season.
Bengals.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
They were 29 points ahead
in
of the
comparing
Ravens,
the games, the Chiefs was the most comfortable game out of the whole week. I guess
No.
Bengals Bills felt comfortable for the Bengals for sure.
I will say the Bengals Bills, what was weird about that for me is ironically, it felt like the Bengals were moving. It felt like the Bills were moving in slow motion compared to the Bengals. The Bills did not look like they were prepared to play in the snow. Did you feel like there was a different skill gap issue in the snow, Logan? I just felt like the Bengals were just moving so much faster.
I definitely feel like the Bengals defense was not ready to tackle in the snow. I definitely feel like that's true.
I guess that's fair. Just speed-wise, it just looked like the Bills were moving in slow motion compared to the Bengals.
I'll tell you that I did not watch a single second of that game.
Did you really not?
And then I was gaming, and then I saw
Throw it up on a different monitor.
and I saw a notification. Bengals comfortably beat Bills, and I rubbed my eyes and I was like, huh? Because I was expecting the game to be really close, but yeah, I didn't watch a single fucking second. I'm the worst about not watching games that like don't involve my team, so I just
Okay, I guess that's
You know what I think it was, Truman?
what.
Now, I'm marinating on what you said for a second. I think it's because there was so little pass rush on Joe the entire game that, like, once that receiving core hit full speed against really any defensive back core in the league, but, like, it just was a flurry, a blitzkrieg at that point.
All right, let's actually. I think you bring up an interesting point with the sacks that I actually want to. Let's just get into the Chiefs versus Bengals preview. I have thoughts on both pass rush performances by either of these teams. Here's my thoughts on this. Okay, I want to make sure. Hold on, I want to bring up these numbers because I always want to make sure I get these right. So I will tell you, both teams each had one sack this week. The Bengals got sacked once. The Bills got sacked once. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm going to chop this up to weather. Believe it or not, listen, we're gonna sit here. I'm obviously, as Chiefs fans, we're gonna find ways to try to poke holes in the Bengals' performance this past week. But in the wild card round, the Bills sacked the Miami Dolphins 4 times on Skylar Thompson. An inexperienced NFL quarterback, God love him, but he is inexperienced. He had a QBR 21.9. But the Bills also were sacked 7 times by a fine Miami pass rush. A pretty solid Miami pass rush. I don't want to discredit it per se. But also, oh my God. Oh, God damn it. Fucking ESPN played on my laptop. All right. Sorry. But also, in the divisional round, the Bengals still got 2 sacks on a pretty mobile quarterback in Tyler Huntley, and the Ravens had 4 sacks on Joe Burrow. So I think both teams, each of those teams showing that they were productive in the pass rush, and both those teams having the pass rush, the previous week's pass rushes be productive against them, I think makes me want to chalk this up. The pass rush, the weirdness of each team only getting 1 sack, especially when quarterbacks shouldn't be as mobile in the snow. I want to chalk that up to weather. I really think that is because pass rush is just such a powerful move game. It's such a finesse. It's such a speed. It all comes from the legs. A lot of it comes from the legs. Some of it comes from hand fighting. That I feel like in the snow, both of those pass rushes got neutralized a little bit.
Sure.
So I agree that the Bengals offensive line showed up way better than anybody would thought they would. Would you agree? everybody
10
was
times better than I thought they would.
right. Everybody's saying, "Oh, fucking the Bills pass rush is going to eat against them." But I will say, as Chiefs fans, I think I personally, I don't. We talk about this. I would have rather, for advancing sake, I would have rather played the Bills because the Bills have certainly not been the same, especially on defense, since Von Miller was gone out.
Yep, that's why they paid him all that money for that exact moment in that game, in that scenario. And him getting taken out is just the beginning of the end for their season.
Yeah, and I just...
If you do get a chance to talk to Chris about it, he's already done the whole Always Sunny board of how to get out of his contract. It's a truly wonderful thing.
That's funny. I will say, I want to add something that I was listening to Kansas City Sports Talk Radio. We're still kind of, the Sports Talk news section kind of goes from, Monday is like recapping the game. Tuesday is recapping the game, kind of putting our finishing touches on what it can mean for next week's game. Wednesday is next week game. Thursday is next week game. Friday is predictions for the game ahead kind of thing. So Monday was all reacting to the games. And it was, so some of the Kansas City sports radio guys were playing the Broncos or the Bills radio calls, or like they had callers who had called into the Bills radio station after the game, or like Facebook posts they were seeing. And man, the Bengals have gotten Buffalo fans questioning whether or not Sean McDermott is the answer at head coach.
Oh, really?
Which is so funny. I mean, that's insane. He's
That's
your best
pathetic
coach.
if they really think about that.
Right.
If that is a for real thought, this is just like those stupid fucking yinzers in Steeler country that think they should get rid of Mike Tomlin.
That is insane.
You lose. Listen, I have to listen to this shit every single year where I am from. Just sitting just south of them. Yeah. Mike Tomlin is debatably the best coach of the NFL.
Oh, my dream is that at the time that Andy Reid retires, Tomlin will have had like 2 or 3 years where they go 9-8 and miss the playoffs, and then he'll finally have his first under 500 year, and they'll fire him, and then we'll get Mike Tomlin. That's been my dream. Is that it kind of works out that I believe in 7 years or whatever Andy Reid retires, that they'll eventually just get sick of Mike Tomlin doing well enough but not doing anything in the playoffs, that they'll just be like they did with the Bengals coach. Was that Marvin Lewis? Where they eventually
Marvin Lewis was bad.
Marvin Lewis was fine. He was still the best coach in Bengals history before Zach Taylor.
True.
Yeah, Marvin Lewis was still bad, though.
Marvin Lewis was bad, I would say. But I'm hoping they'll convince themselves that Mike Tomlin is like Marvin Lewis and get rid of Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Just in time for Andy Reid to retire.
But, for example, Logan, I tell this story to Truman every time we talk about Mike Tomlin in general. When the Chiefs had Todd Haley as that head coach during that awful 2-14 season, and there were talks about who was going to be the next head coach after Romeo Crennel took over, I was like, why not Mike Tomlin? Because Pittsburgh fans always seem to be upset with Mike Tomlin for no reason. And I was like, why? I was very much looking forward to the Chiefs having even the opportunity to reach out to Mike Tomlin. I don't think anybody does more with less than Mike Tomlin. I mean, look at that roster, right? They've got
yeah, no kidding.
They've got one wide receiver. Their running back is half okay. Everyone thought he was going to be way better than he was. Did you see the stuff on Twitter and TikTok about Najee Harris being like an MVP candidate, or was that just me?
I don't think I saw that specifically of him being an MVP candidate. I can see the rationale, but their O-line has deteriorated rapidly in the last 3 years.
Right.
From being a top 3 unit to, I don't know the exact stats.
Yeah,
definitely bottom 10.
You downgrade from a Hall of Famer to Kenny Pickett. Even the corpse of Ben Roethlisberger has been better than Kenny Pickett has been this season.
That's not true. Not in the second half. He's been better. He's been better down the stretch.
I don't know.
Listen, I'm with you, but come on.
You mean Kenny picked off?
Yeah, Kenny picked off.
Exactly.
Although Pickens to Pickens to it is I feel like that's gonna be.
But no, George Pickens is their only wide receiver.
God, I wish
he's
we would
good.
have fucking picked Pickens.
He's great.
Man. I love it. Sky Moore is fine. It's interesting to see what
Pickens got picked before Sky Moore.
Yes, but they could have had him in the first round. But I don't know.
move
Instead of
up.
Karlaftis,
Sorry,
it would.
can I do one more aside before we move on from this topic?
Absolutely.
Well, we're gonna keep. Yeah.
I need to berate Truman for doubting the Mike Tomlin 9-8 at the last time I was on here before the season started. You gave me shit about that for 20 minutes on this podcast, and you doubted me from the beginning. And like Thanos snapping his fingers together, Mike Tomlin's above 500 record hit with I don't even know how many game win streak there was at the end there.
I have no defense for it. Listen, you guys all told me you also were like, it's going to be over 500. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. They're so bad. And they were so bad.
It doesn't make sense, Truman, but it will happen.
He
went 9-8 with Duck Hodges. Hodges. Quack, quack, Duck Hodges.
Truman, you just gotta remember, he only needs 3 players. He had 3 players. He had TJ Watt, and then he got injured, and it still didn't matter.
They won like two or 3 games in the last 30 seconds in the last like 5 weeks. I'm fucking sick.
Truman, when you invite me back for AFC North preview for next season, if you do not have 9 wins on the Steelers board, I am going to spend 30 minutes lamenting at you.
Bro, they had 4 wins down the stretch. They beat the Panthers by 8, the Raiders by 3, the Ravens by 3. And then the Browns by 14. And the
Truman, he's inevitable. It's Mike Tomlin.
I shut up.
He doesn't know what a losing season is. All he knows is Super Bowls and winning records.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. He has never had a losing season.
Never. Yes. No, we're not going to correct you. He's never been under 500. No.
Yes, he's incredible. Can't wait for Andy Reid to retire and for us to have Mike Tomlin.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm
ready for it. Okay.
Also,
right.
Truman mocked me in our gambling group chat on Snapchat when they were like 2-6 or whatever. Like, how's that above 500 thing going? Which, to be fair, looked pretty bad at the time, but still.
Truman, actually, I don't know if you know this, Logan. That is Truman's bread and butter. Is slamming somebody when the bet is halfway over and then losing.
Good old the taunt to get bodied, all-time combo.
It's the best combo, taunt to get bodied.
All right, fair enough. What we're talking about, sorry, moving on from the Sean McDermott point, I just wanted to point out that Bills fans want Sean McDermott fired, and that's so funny to me. It's also a classic Andy Reid disciple, and because now they're starting to wonder if they can get it done, or they're going to want to get him gone because they don't think they'll ever get over the hump with him, which is, although the Bills are in trouble. We're going to talk about that later in the episode, but the Bills are in trouble. All right, tickets. Logan, have you seen the ticket prices to this week's games?
A lot.
As a matter of fact, I got an ad for it while I was waiting for you guys to put me on, and it said for the discount price for Bengals fans of $899.
Oh my God.
That's the ad I have on my monitor right now.
That is crazy. The number that I have right here, I checked Game Time this afternoon. Game Time this afternoon said $343 without fees.
For nosebleed?
Yes. For the worst tickets available, yeah. Just insane stuff. I mean, I love it.
I do think the game's going to be sick, but,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's just insane. I say, oh, yeah, we already talked about the Chiefs' sacks. Okay. All right, let's get into actually starting to talk about the game of the week ahead. Logan, do you have any what are your keys on this game?
So you asked me to come with stats, and I am going to come with my favorite sports statistician.
Oh, wait, sorry, real quick. I got $294 for a ticket right now. I can buy it for you right now. If you want me to use Venmo me, I can buy it for you.
I'll keep that in mind. That would be awesome, but I unfortunately do have plans this weekend. Wedding planning.
Sorry, with fees, 2 seats together would cost $800.
Is Arrowhead a good stadium?
Oh,
I know it's loud, but it isn't an actual good stadium.
It is a fine stadium. I've been to worse stadiums. I would say that if you sit up top, there's really not a bad seat in the house. You can see everything. You don't ever feel that far away from the field. And I will say that I've heard other people talk about it. The thing is the atmosphere is so crazy around Arrowhead that people really don't think about the stadium itself that often. And that is a compliment to Arrowhead. It is a complimentary stadium to the atmosphere around it. Like I listened to the Pardon My Take guys today,
Fair enough.
and they sent a guy out there, and he was like, it's the craziest game atmosphere out there. I mean, it is insane in the parking lot. It's insane all around. Everybody's in such a good mood.
But as a Raw stadium, it's fine.
Yeah, but as a Raw stadium, I mean, it's historic. It's it's lasted this long for a reason. They did do some upgrades in like the early 2010s, and I assume there will be some upgrades coming soonish. But I don't know what you would upgrade. Really, the food options are good. The concourse makes sense. They've got little spiral things. They've got escalators. It's a fairly modern old stadium.
I would say though that having been to AT&T, like it doesn't really stack up to AT&T or the Superdome.
Can't compare it to domes.
Right. You can't really compare it to domes.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, I don't know if you looked at next year's schedule already, but there does appear to be a Bengals-Chiefs rematch at Arrowhead on there. And I have been dying to see you guys IRL. So Chris and I are already in cahoots to try and work that out.
Absolutely. I imagine we could get Home Run Chase to come down too. We flirted with going to Cincinnati this year for the Chiefs-Bengals game, and then my girlfriend's parents are coming to town that weekend. I think that's the thing. Owen keeps on making jokes that Tina's parents come into town like 8 times a year. They don't come in 8 times a year, but they do come in
at the worst possible time.
At the worst possible times. They came in the Big 12 Championship weekend, which I would have gone down for the Big 12 Championship weekend, but I believe that was also the same weekend as the Chiefs-Bengals game, and I would have gone down to Cincy for that. I think that was both the December game, I believe.
No, yeah, because we had to decide.
Yeah. So, really frustrating. But, okay. So...
Yeah, that's right, because we drove down after the game, at night.
But yeah, if you come to Kansas City, we'll absolutely get you hooked up. We'll do the full tailgate. I'll have a house by then, so I can smoke a pork butt, maybe do some ribs.
Yeah, we'll barbecue. Yeah, we'll do a full tailgating.
Yeah, we'll do the whole thing.
You gotta see if your guys' barbecue is better than Memphis.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's not even funny. Don't you dare.
Although I don't really cook Kansas City style technically. I don't really throw a bunch of sauce on it.
Yeah, I guess you don't technically, do you?
But we can go. We'll also take you to
I guess
good
Truman's
Kansas.
more of a Texas style barbecue man.
Not necessarily.
Dry
It
rub?
is sweeter, but I have a sweeter rub, which makes it more
it's a
Kansas
dry
City
rub,
style. Dry rub is Memphis technically, but
Truman's
with
more
how
of a North Carolina, focused on the meat.
No vinegar. Yeah, no. But with how sweet the meat is, it ends up a little more Kansas City style technically. But okay,
We'll roll it out for you.
so yeah, no, we'll definitely have you down. We'll definitely show you around. We'll do a K-State game too. Probably.
Yeah, but anyway, your Bengals keys to the victory.
So, from Brett Coleman, at Brett Coleman on Twitter.
Yep.
Great
Kansas
guy to
City
follow.
allows-
Great guy to watch on YouTube. Sorry.
Love it. Love his content. Kansas City allows 4.8 yards per carry on inside zone and 5.7 yards per carry on duo runs. In the first game against Cincy, without Mixon being active, they gave up 6 yards per carry and 6.4 yards per carry, respectively, on those concepts. With Joe Mixon I'm paraphrasing. With Joe Mixon activated, it's going to be tough going for the Chiefs if he's going for 150 yards.
Yep.
Right.
Which I think will happen.
Yes, he said everybody's worried about this, and they said he will not matter if Joe Mixon goes for 150. But while I agree, right, and I do agree that the Chiefs did not play well. The run defense is one of the worst in the league. I will also point out.
I thought the one defense was one of the best in the league.
No, the run defense on run stop win rate per ESPN is last.
Damn.
They are actually, but I will say, okay, so if you have like team pass rush win rate is also another statistic that they have. The difference between first and last in pass rush win rate is 23%, and the difference between first and last and team rush stop rate is 10%. So it's a little tighter. Where like if the Chiefs were 2% better, they could be 25th in the league.
Wow.
So but. Speaking of, while the Chiefs' run defense does have the worst run stop win rate at 26%, I will say, in the 30th spot at 27% is the Cincinnati Bengals. And I will say
would be a huge problem if the Chiefs actively pursued running the ball as a part of their game plan, which they don't most of the time.
But they will with Mahomes hurt. Pacheco just rushed for 95%, for 95 yards on 12 carries against the Jacksonville Jaguars defense that is 19th in the league on run stop win rate.
That's true.
Do you think the Chiefs' hubris will allow them to do that?
Absolutely.
Because that is the ultimate crux of this situation.
I think
If
if
he
Mahomes is
gets
hurt,
his Toradol shot in his
think it
ankle,
depends.
and he goes out there and he says, "I'm better than Joe Burrow," as he has orchestrated his audibles to be during their games, and I want to throw 4 touchdowns.
I
Will
think it
he
depends
commit
on who
to running the
scores
ball?
first. I think it depends
That's
on who
also
scores
a great
first.
point.
I think if the Chiefs score first, the run opens up a lot more because Andy Reid loves bleeding clock immediately.
right? In an ironic sense, the Chiefs collapses in the playoffs. I do not feel the same about the Chiefs collapses in the playoffs as I do as Niners fans or Atlanta fans feel about Kyle Shanahan's collapse in the playoffs, where they're saying, "Run the damn ball, Kyle." The Chiefs should have ran the ball in a light box against Cincinnati last year, but a lot of time we get upset about Kansas City getting a little too conservative in their play call, where they're almost running the ball too much. Or in the Indianapolis game, you felt like they closed the playbook and then they started to run the ball when Jamal Charles was also hurt. Just it's how we felt in the past. But I will say that you would hope that if the Chiefs were up in this game, let's say 21-3 at halftime, and they have an opportunity to maybe kick a field goal, maybe they kick the field goal. You hope that they've learned
You think
some
they
amount of
learned?
lessons, some amount of hubris.
I hope we would have.
Well, and I'd also think that losing Tyreek Hill has changed this team's mentality on offense also. I don't think this team believes they can score from anywhere, any distance, any place on the field against anybody without Tyreek Hill. I think the drives are much more orchestrated. I think their play calling is much more planned out. I think you just see it's an entirely different mentality. And it's the reason that in the preseason we said, I think we were on this, you can check the pod. We were on this pod saying, I think Patrick Mahomes is going to win the MVP because he just looks so comfortable this offense. And it was a totally different offense. It wasn't as many deep shots. It wasn't as many, throw the ball at Tyreek Hill, let Tyreek Hill run around and do whatever. It is much more of actual plays, actually watching Patrick Mahomes use his skill. I do not believe it is the same offense as the Cincinnati Bengals faced in last year.
Yeah, it could be if Justin Watson would stop dropping the ball, but.
But I also... Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Can
No.
I put this contingency to you guys then, since Owen brought it up earlier?
Absolutely.
Bengals score first. Patrick Mahomes / Andy Reid / whomever is primarily responsible for play calling. And they have decided in order to win the game, they have to throw their way to win off rip. You guys still like your chances just as much?
Yes. I don't think. Listen, I think if the Chiefs until the Chiefs get down 2 scores and Mahomes is hurt, I can, as a Chiefs fan, on this podcast, I think we've referred to it as world beater Mahomes. There's a difference, and you saw it in the second half. He starts to do the thing. He spins around in the pocket a couple times, keeps turning his back to the defensive backfield, and keeps running around and doing all this bullshit. That's when you can tell that he has entered a different mode that is going to be bad. It is reckless world beater Mahomes that you're like, dude, just fucking throw the check down or just run the ball 5 yards. Let's not do this bullshit. And I've not seen much of that this year. But last year, when Mahomes was in those meltdowns, when the Chiefs would have those meltdowns in those games that they would lose, we saw a lot of that Mahomes. And it was the same thing in the Colts game. At the end of the game, you saw world beater Mahomes. He just forced to throw a little tight, although Juju had it in his hands and then dropped it. And then in the Bills game, you're like, he is just trying to go for too big of a piece. And it's the same thing you guys almost saw with Josh Allen in the divisional round, is he starts to just, they're like, oh, I got to get it all. And they throw that, it was that interception down the right side, down at the 5-yard line. It was a easy pitch and catch. You had your safety come up and make that play, or the cornerback came off and made that play. It was, a little bit of a jumping interception, but it wasn't that too difficult of a play, I'd say. And it's the same thing.
That was our first-round pick this year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He's replacing Jesse Bates because we're losing him.
Yeah, probably, yeah, sadly. I saw somebody suggesting the Chiefs should sign Jesse Bates, which I thought was
I have no idea. Who Jesse Bates is.
that's fair.
Fandom assigned, if the Chiefs could sign Jesse Bates, that'd be a massive upgrade.
Probably over Joshua Williams. Absolutely.
No, it'd be a safety. It'd be over Juan Thornhill.
Brian Cook, maybe.
Well, Brian Cook is who's going to replace Juan Thornhill if they allow Juan Thornhill to walk.
You think they do?
Yeah.
We'll see.
It depends how Juan Thornhill does this game.
Yeah, if he balls out.
Yeah, see, this game I feel like for both of us will decide a lot of things.
Yeah. I mean,
True.
I don't know. Yeah, if World Beater Mahomes shows up and then we're losing. If 13 seconds, calm, cool, collected, take the open pass for 13 yards every single time shows up, I think the Chiefs can win. I think the main thing that the Chiefs have to do is this. And this is the Bengals game plan has been shown. And the Bengals have shown how they win games. They don't turn the ball over. They don't fumble. They don't throw interceptions. And then they win. Because they turn the ball over from you. They get fumbles. They get interceptions. And then they score on 66% of their possessions, and you score on 60. And then you lose to the Bengals by 3.
Yes, that is absolutely something that I will tip my hat to the Bengals. They are great at forcing turnovers. They are great at being an opportune defense. It's what the Chiefs lack. The Chiefs lose the turnover battle a lot, and that causes problems for them. You guys saw it yourself. You guys lost the turnover battle to the Baltimore Ravens in the wild card round. You almost lost. You lost the turnover battle to the Ravens in week 18. I'm actually kind of shocked. Oh, no, sorry. You guys won. No, sorry. You guys won the turnover battle against Baltimore. You guys won. You guys won the turnover battle against Baltimore in week 18. You won. You lost it against New England, and you almost lost that game, 22-18. You guys won it the week before that. You tied it the week before that. You won it the week before that. The last time, and you guys lost it against the Steelers. It was a little close, 37-30. You guys remember that game. It's just, so really, you guys have lost the turnover battle. I want to get this number right. The first game of the year, one time. And then you guys lost it week 11 against the Steelers. And you guys have lost it week 16 against the Patriots. You guys have lost the turnover battle 3 times.
That's incredible, honestly.
That is an incredible stat that leads to so much success. And that is the number one thing I'm jealous of on the Bengals defense is how good they are at just finding that turnover. Because
You want to know the secret to that?
what?
Drop 8. It worked. I'm not kidding. It worked against the Bills both times we played them. It worked against the Chiefs. It works on every single offense that is predicated on passing. Our pass rush of those 3 guys is good enough relative to a normal 4-person pass rush that extra person in coverage just gets those turnovers one way or another, stripping it out of Travis Kelce or
Right, but
whatever.
that's not
you
pass
wanna do.
coverage. That's a linebacker who so I would agree with you of it's your pass rush with getting 3 and dropping 8 if you weren't going to use the Travis Kelce example. That is simply just a linebacker wanting it more. He certainly could have been on Travis Kelce for anyways and made that tackle and made that strip, whether or not you rushed 9 and left that one on him, or you rushed 3 and you dropped 8.
I was more referencing the sacks on Mahomes in the Bengals Chiefs game.
But that isn't why you guys won the game. Or are you talking about last year in the playoffs?
I was referring to this year in the regular season. Like, there are some very key drives that were stalled out for the Chiefs offense from drop 8 pass coverage. That was something that stuck out in my mind immediately because still they know the Chiefs are not going to run the football, and they don't even pretend like they are in their defensive play calling.
Right. But in the Chiefs-Bengals game, as a Chiefs fan, there is one play. There is only one play. There is only one drive that sticks out in my head, and that is the Travis Kelce fumble. Plain and simple.
Didn't we also muff a punt against the Bengals?
No, we didn't. No, we only had the one turnover. There was only one turnover in the game. It was Travis Kelce fumble.
Yeah, it sucked.
And that's it. Listen, it was at that point when Travis Kelce fumbled that ball. It was 24-20. The Chiefs, they stripped that ball about the Chiefs' 40 on what would have been a first down play. Kelce had caught the ball for 19 yards. Yeah, they stripped it at the 45, and then they recovered it. And then you guys had the ball at midfield. You guys go on to score the touchdown. to go instead up 27-24. Harrison Butker goes down there and misses the field goal, that was a key sack. But at the same time, it was a shoestring sack. And I really put that more on Harrison Butker being fucked up with whatever was going on. But
he's full go now, though, so you guys probably feel pretty good.
Man, that is the biggest knock on wood. I just cannot get behind. I'm still not in the place to trust Harrison Butker. Every time you see him out there, I think as a Chiefs fan, you're a little worried. But maybe they've got it figured out. But yeah, as a Chiefs fan, again, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, if he doesn't have that ball stripped, the Chiefs go up 31-20 with 11 minutes left. We're here, then they, instead of giving the Bengals the short field, and that's, if Travis Kelce would have scored that touchdown. So Travis Kelce had that ball stripped with 14:06 left. So let's say they go down there, they score 11 minutes left. The Bengals have to go drive. It took you guys 5 minutes from the 50-yard line, so let's say it takes 7 minutes. You guys score with 4 minutes left. The Chiefs have one drive to put it away. You'd hope they put it away, or they at least get a field goal. Maybe we're going to overtime. As a Chiefs fan, the regular season matchup, the Chiefs in the second half was touchdown, fumble, missed field goal. The Chiefs were not stopped in that second half, besides the fumble. And you guys forced the field goal, and then he missed the field goal. But if you makes field goal, then you're tied.
I have a quick update for you both.
Oh.
The Kansas Jayhawks trail the Baylor Bears 55-67 with 5 minutes left in the game.
Good.
Amazing.
Awesome. Love that. It's just a free bet that I missed. I would say just as a Chiefs fan, that's what I'm feeling. But I will say I'm not willing to base any of our predictions off today off of what we saw early in the season. I have no idea what's going on with Mahomes. Nobody has any idea. And that's the issue is this entire week, the entire narrative is going to be Chiefs is what will the Chiefs be with a hobbled Patrick Mahomes? How hobbled is Patrick Mahomes? You'll tune into the radio. It'll be a bunch of guys saying, well, I got hurt in college and I had a high ankle sprain. It was the worst thing I ever had. And then you'll hear people come on and say, well, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady both played through high ankle sprains in the playoffs and they made to the Super Bowl or whatever. And it's
then people go, well, 1 week after he had his sprained ankle against the Jags, Mahomes threw for 4 touchdowns and 433 yards against the Raiders.
Right. In 2019 when they won the Super Bowl, yeah, he sprained his ankle in the first game of the year, I believe it was.
Yes.
And then for the next 4 games, I believe it was like 400, or it was like 400, 300, 400, 400 yards. So
it's going to be a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, all of this is going to be guess and check on what everybody thinks Mahomes is going to do. Yeah, so Mahomes had his ankle hurt in the Jacksonville game. He went for 378 that game. Next game, he went for 443. Next game, he went for 374. The game after that, he went for 315. And then they re-injured his ankle again. In the Colts game, he went for 321. And then the game after that, he went 273. And then he sat out. Then they played Denver. Then he had the dislocated kneecap that game.
Yeah.
So we just don't know. And this is also the best offensive line Mahomes has had probably yet. The tackles are coming into the tackles at the beginning of the year were allowing the most pressures of any tackles in the NFL. Both of them, they were top 2.
Yeah.
Those two. But even they have turned it around just a little bit. I saw Andrew Wiley was a top 10 in pass rush grade or pass rush win rate or block rate. Pass block win rate as a tackle. He was finished 9th in the league. He had 93% win rate. I do believe that Orlando Brown is still a fucking
good for you, Wiley.
out there. Yeah, good for Andrew Wiley. He's an underrated tackle that will probably get paid like Eric Fisher got paid. He'll probably get paid $15 to $20 million. Nothing too crazy, but
enough to stay on the team.
He'll make a living for his kids. His kids will be set. His kids.
Hey, don't forget his Kansas City Pioneers money.
Yes, right. Yeah, sorry. So I think that's the hardest part about what we're doing here. I don't know how you feel. I know I looked at Bengals subreddit today.
Oh, yeah. I bet that was a
Are they ready to munch? Is that what I'm assuming?
They are very sure they are going to win this game. There is no doubts. There are no thoughts. There are no, well, you got to give them respect. That is a cocky bunch over there on the Bengals subreddit, I will say.
Well, when you win 3 straight.
Yeah. I will say on top of that, for the more serious people, that yards per carry stat I read earlier, I think is going to matter a lot in this game. I really do think whichever side of the standard deviation that this game turns up to be will be the deciding win-loss thing. How well does Joe Mixon run against this defense? Slash, do they give Samaje Perine more touches since he fucking cooked you guys last time?
Yep.
So, I guess that's the other part of that I struggle with when we talk about, oh, that'll be a very important stat, where the Chiefs are allowing 5.7 yards per rush, and last time they allowed Samaje Perine to run for 5 yards to carry. He ran 21 times for 106 yards, and the Chiefs, personally, I believe, still were in a good spot to win that game until Travis Kelce fumbled that ball. They ran for 106 yards. They ran for 152 yards as a team.
Without their starting running back.
Right. But I don't think Joe Mixon is that much better than Samaje Perine.
I actually think Samaje Perine's better than Joe Mixon, but that's a subject for another time.
I would agree. I mean, he's just a different. He's who knows. Sometimes styles make fights, right? And maybe
Sure.
Joe Mixon just fits in sometimes better, and maybe Samaje Perine fits your guys' offensive line scheme. I mean, against the Bills, he ran for 5.3 yards per carry. He ran 20 carries, 105 yards. Again, Samaje Perine against the Chiefs ran for 21 carries, 106 yards. It's just not that big of a difference for me to say.
It's not just the yards. It's the fact that Samaje Perine hurts people when he hits them a lot.
That's
and
true.
Joe Mixon flops to the side because he's just not that big. Not
Right.
to say he's a professional athlete and, is way stronger, better than all of us. But
Right. Oh, yeah.
Samaje
Kick my ass. I wouldn't
Perine
win me in an
brings
alley for sure.
the pain when he runs into people.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
that matters.
I think it's going to be a
Stiff
close
arm him into
game.
the ground,
I think it's going to come down to execution. A muffed punt, a missed extra point, missed field goal,
It's going to
an
come
interception,
over to what we've already talked about.
turnover.
It will come down to turnover battle. If fans of Dahm, that's true. I know all the Dahm, that's truthers out there. All three of you, I see you. We have been banging this drum for the last 6 weeks. It all comes down to the turnover battle, and that is what gives me hope. Is this team has lost the turnover battle? Oh, I want to count out
6
1,
times?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times.
Holy shit.
This team has lost the turnover battle 8 times, and we were 14-3 in the regular season. The Cincinnati Bengals lost the turnover battle 3 times, and they were 12-5, right? 12-5?
So they're 13-4.
No, they're 12-5.
Why were they not 13?
They're 12-4 because it was 16 weeks.
Yeah, they lost 4 games. You're right.
Yes, because they ended up below the Bills. Also, we've got to. I want to talk about that too. Sorry, but
Yeah.
so that's what gives me hope. Is this Chiefs team, if they can limit the turnovers? The Chiefs team has also not lost the turnover battle since Week 15 against the Houston Texans. Every game that was close, every game you can think of where the Chiefs played a shit team that they played close for no fucking reason, it is because they lost the turnover battle. They win the turnover battle against Las Vegas. They fucking win that game handily. They tied against Denver. They play that game close. They win the battle against Seattle. They win that game handily. They lose the battle against Houston. It's a close game. They tie it or they win it in Denver. That was a fucking mess. Listen, I'm also willing to say the division games are a mess, but they win it in Denver. They win that They win that game by 6. It really shouldn't have even been that close. It got weird at the end, and Russell Wilson got hurt. It was that was such a shit show of a game. It's just that is the thing as a Chiefs fan that gives me the most hope. If this Chiefs team comes out and plays a clean game in the AFC Championship, we split the turnover battle. I don't even hope we split it. I hope it's 0-0. I hope neither team turns over the ball. Well, I mean, I guess technically I wish you guys turned over the ball. But
That would be an electric game if it was just the Rams Chiefs regular season game from a couple years ago in the fucking AFC Championship.
right. Well,
Would that not be the best game of all time?
That'd be an incredible game. And I mean, before the Bengals turn the ball over against Kelsey. We're looking at a 0-0 turnover battle. You guys win the turnover battle by 1. It completely turns around the game. You guys win 27-24 because you go up, instead of Chiefs going up 31-20, you guys go up 27-24. We go down there, we miss a field goal, which is kind of also in a way a turnover, but I won't count that. I'm not going to count downs. We're not going to count. I'm just going off what we call turnovers. So if the Chiefs don't miss the field goal, well, I think if they make the field goal, even then, you guys still probably do what you guys did to us week 17 or week 16 of last year. Or no, week 17 of last year, where you guys just run out that clock in the 10 minutes because L'Jarius Sneed has a illegal hands to the face or whatever.
Well, that same ref is reffing the game. Tolbert.
Is it? That's fine. Anybody but Sheffers.
Yeah,
God, you guys got fucking Sheffers. Didn't you guys have you guys had Sheffers in your game? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you guys don't have like an enemy ref that you guys hate.
No, the NFL just hates the Bengals for as long as I've been a Bengals fan, for the most part. It's just been an onslaught being in this fan base for so long. And by the way, having the shoe be on the other foot for the first time in most of these Bengals fans' lives, I don't blame them at all for not having a single hesitation in their mind we're going to win on Sunday. I think that's very dumb of them to think that, but I understand their optimism.
Yes. Oh, Sheffers was Bills Bengals. And also, to add to your Cincinnati Bengals point where the NFL hates the Bengals, I will say for anybody that ever says the dumbass script writing shit for the NFL, listen, the Cincinnati Bengals right now are the most anti-script writing team there is. If the Cincinnati Bengals win this Super Bowl, there is you fucking shut the fuck up about the script. Listen, we all know that we thought the Bills were going to get pushed. You guys complained about the coin toss, whatever. You guys complained about the Atlanta game, which I believe was dumb for Joe Mixon to complain about, personally. But he just doesn't understand how finances
Whatever gets
work.
you motivated, bud.
Yeah, right. The Bills, the Bengals are a great team about playing with a chip on their shoulder. I will say whoever's in there fucking hyping them up. I can't imagine Zach Taylor's in there fucking rah, 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 fucking getting them hyped up. It's somebody. It's a
probably
straight
Joe
coach
Mixon.
or somebody. Yeah.
I think Joe Mixon may be the InfoWars of the Bengals locker room.
I could see that. Yeah. And so I will say that if the Bengals win this year, that's the most anti-script writing. I mean, obviously, it was Damar Hamlin. And at this point, as the Chiefs-Bengals play, the Super Bowl between the Chiefs and the Eagles or the Chiefs and the Niners are both great storylines. And the Bengals have no storylines against either of those teams.
Yes. Do you guys want a sneak peek at my Super Bowl thoughts, regardless of the AFC Championship winner?
Sure.
Bengals
Damn, I'm sorry
win.
I spoke.
We get absolutely slaughtered in the Super Bowl,
Interesting.
which I can get into if you want. Chiefs win. I think it's an all-time under situation, like a 19-17 type of game.
Gross.
Super Bowl, regardless
Interesting.
of 49ers or Eagles.
Okay.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want a gross Super Bowl.
We can get into it. We do have Super Bowl stuff. We need to kind of put a nice little bow here.
I'll tell you right now, I'm going to do the same thing I did last year if the Chiefs aren't in the Super Bowl, and that's not watch until the fourth quarter.
Brother, you showed up to the party.
Yeah, I was watching anime the whole time, remember?
I hate when you do it. Come on, man. Live in the moment. Listen.
I did not want to watch the Bengals, dude. I was so pissed.
No, man. Nothing will beat not into 2019 deciding not to watch that fucking Super Bowl.
Oh, that was genius.
After the Chiefs,
That was a great idea ever.
Pats lose in the AFC in the overtime, the Chiefs lose. We did not watch it because it was our friend's birthday. Instead, we went to Texas Roadhouse, and we come home. We turn on the fourth quarter. We fucking turn on the TV. It's fucking 6-3 or 3-3. We're like, fuck yes. We're like, fuck this stupid ass Super Bowl. I'm so glad we didn't watch this fucking shit.
Yeah, so Logan, in that Super Bowl, I decided I was going to watch a Super Smash Bros. Melee tournament instead. And that shit was hype, so I'm glad I did.
Yeah, it was a good one.
There was a live Smash Bros. Tournament during the Super Bowl?
Yeah, and it had like 40,000 viewers.
2019?
Damn. All right.
Okay.
It was hype, dude. Plug
All right,
one
that's
Genesis
sweet.
5.
All right, let's get into closing remarks, and then let's do score predictions. Here is my closing remark. This is a long comment. I think I'm going to maybe record this as a separate TikTok video eventually and post it on it just to get fucking roasted by Bengals fans whenever the Chiefs lose. Sure. But here is my, we've thrown out analytics. I will say right now, as a Chiefs fan trying to be an objective observer, I think the Bengals are absolutely the favorites in this game.
Absolutely.
It started, Chiefs opened up at -3. The Bengals are now, home?
-2.5?
Road, no, they're not -2.5, but they're...
The betting is moving towards -2.5.
No, like the Bengals are favorites now.
That's what I said, Bengals -2.5.
Yeah, but no, I don't think they're up to -2.5. I don't think they're going to get there, per se.
Last time I checked, it was -1, unless it's updated since then.
It's -1.5.
Yeah, I think it's moving towards -2.5.
I don't think it's going to get there.
I think it will.
Well, I think if it's going to get there, I think it's going to get there on Tuesday, because I think Wednesday Patrick Mahomes practices in a limited capacity. Or if Patrick Mahomes does not practice on Wednesday, you might see it get to 2.5.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
I've
here's...
already hedged the game, so you stay winning over here.
Fair enough. Okay. So here's my final take. It's my non-analytical take on it all.
Sure.
I will say the Bengals are the best team in the NFL at playing with a chip on their shoulder. They felt disrespected by the coin flip. Week 18, they beat the hell out of the Ravens. Then they barely beat them, in the wild card round, week 1. Because the coin flip was over, but they still felt that they had a point to prove. They beat the Ravens. They felt disrespected by selling the Atlanta tickets. It was, again, I think that's a stupid-ass thing. I think you could have bought Bengals tickets for the AFC Championship game until the Chiefs won, and then you couldn't. And the Jaguars obviously weren't going to sell tickets. The Bills were also selling home AFC playoff tickets, and the Chiefs have to sell home playoff AFC. They sell for the situation. I think it was a dumb thing, but what are you going to do? I think it was just a weird... Everybody was fixating on this. I think it was dumb. But they felt disrespected by them selling Atlanta tickets. You saw it on the sideline. They were yelling to Bengals fans. They were fucking... Eli Apple was fucking slapping the ass on the side there. They beat the Bills. But the issue now, as we face this AFC Championship game, Patrick Mahomes is hurt. The Bengals have been calling themselves the favorite in the AFC, the big dogs. They've been saying this the whole time.
They managed to give the Chiefs a chip on the shoulder.
The Reddit fans are not scared at all. They are confident. The Bengals, I do not believe, are scared at all. They didn't say shit about respecting the Chiefs this week. They didn't say shit about respecting the Chiefs in the post-game presser.
I wouldn't if I had won 3 straight.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. No matter what happened...
the betting public has shifted as well.
Absolutely. Everybody and their mom believes in the Bengals right now. And they have never been in this position. And what do the Bengals do? They break their fans' hearts. They bungle. Yes. It is
they bungle it all up, Truman. That's what they do.
They absolutely do the opposite. They felt like they should have, they felt disrespected against the Ravens. They beat the Ravens. They felt disrespected against the Bills. But now they are here disrespecting the Chiefs. I had fucking people in my Twitter mentions. Actually, I called them out a little bit myself. I started it a little myself, I will say. But I had somebody in my Twitter mentions talking about Joe Burrow being a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes because he has the possibility. It's because he has the possibility of going to a Super Bowl and winning it this year. It's because he might go 2-0 and he might go to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row, even though we're disregarding that he's never won an MVP, never won a Super Bowl MVP yet. He's also has torn ACL. He missed a season. So did Patrick Mahomes. He also has never thrown for over 5,000 yards. He's never thrown for 50 touchdowns. Listen, this guy is ready to write it off. He was also in there defending Joe Burrow with talking about his national championships in college. It was all stupid. I'm on a flyer. I'm sorry, but no matter what happened in this Bengals game, no matter what happened in the Bills game with DeMar Hamlin or in this first round, no matter what, they were always going to have to come to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs in any situation. The Chiefs finished it out. It was either the Bills were the 1 seed and the Bengals would have had to play in the divisional round, or they ended up like it did, and they still had to come to Arrowhead to play. That was always going to be the answer. Whether it was going to be in the divisional or the championship round, they were always going to have to play it. They are favorites in this game. The line has shifted. It was Chiefs at 3. Now it's already pro Bengals, -1.5. Mahomes is hurt. They controlled the Buffalo pass rush. I saw guys saying, because Booger McFarland,
Yeah.
That sounds right. Yeah. On Twitter said something that he said, I'm worried about the Bengals because of Chris Jones and Frank Clark. And the Bengals fans on Reddit saying, oh, they don't know. We already control guys like that because we shut down the Bills in the snow. They don't know. I don't know if you guys know who has the 4th most playoff sacks of any player all time. It is Frank the Shark Clark. Chris Jones is due. Listen, this team is
That's a great nickname.
Yes. Oh, it started only in the playoffs.
Let me tell you about a different one. They call him Frank Lil Uzi Clark.
Yeah, Frank Lil Uzi. Yeah. This Bengals team is great when they have a chip on their shoulder, but I do not believe that chip is there anymore. And so that is my biggest worry for them. I don't believe anybody's treating them seriously. I don't believe the Bengals. I believe it's just one of those things. Joe Mixon, I believe he's an Oklahoma. It's as a K-State fan, Joe Mixon is an Oklahoma product. He is certainly used.
Ryan, by the way.
So is Samaje Perine. He is certainly used to overlooking teams from the Midwest, especially Kansas or Missouri. As a K-State fan who's watched Oklahoma lose to K-State 3 out of the last 4 years, I believe he's certainly willing to overlook a team that has Kansas in the name. I am only optimistic because I believe the Bengals are not checking their hubris. Because we sat here last year in the same position.
Yep.
And we said, you know what? I believe the Chiefs are going to fucking roll the Bengals. You know, we had you on here. There's a bunch of laughs. We said, yeah, all right, you guys can pick them, whatever. Or we had Chase on here, and we said, yeah, you can pick them, whatever. I believe it's the Chiefs. No way it's not the Chiefs. Chiefs are going to fucking roll.
Yeah, I think I was probably quoted with saying Chiefs by 10+.
And now we are here. And we brought any Bengals fan on this show. They would laugh us off right now. They would say, yeah, I'm sure you're really, we just fucking rolled the Bills. I believe the Bengals have just played their best game of the year. The Bengals played their game as equal to what the Chiefs did to the 49ers. Was that week, I believe, 10. And I'm not, week 7, sorry, right before the bye week. 44-23 Chiefs. If the Chiefs would have beat the 49ers 44-23 in the divisional round, we'd be talking a totally different story. If Patrick Mahomes wasn't hobbled, even though there's history to say that he might be able to play through it, his ankle injury where he was worse, he still was throwing for 400 yards. It did not matter. I think this is the most win-win situation I've ever seen as a Kansas City fan. Because if you lose, you're supposed to lose all of a sudden.
Patrick Mahomes is hurt.
And if you win, Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of all time, at least of the last 10 years. So I believe we have reached an impasse here. I believe we have reached a career-defining moment in Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals, Zach Taylor. Listen, the Bengals have to take advantage of this opportunity. The Buffalo Bills never did. The Bengals need to win this game. The pressure is on the Bengals.
I'll tell you this, though, Truman. I've not been more nervous for a game than I've ever been.
This is the most nervous I've been for a game in a long time.
The Bengals have the Chiefs' number. They've shown they know how to beat the Chiefs. Albeit they haven't, smashed the Chiefs. They've won by a total of 7 points over the last 3 games. But cool Joe Shiesty has been cool. He's been calm and collected. Yes. He was down 21-3 at half. Didn't matter. They won. Right. The Bengals have shown that they thrive in these kind of high-intensity games. Like you said, they haven't been the favorite before. But, man, I wanted to face the Bills because it's the Bills. We have their number. We have that voodoo over them, and the Bengals have that voodoo over us.
For advancing to the playoffs, to advancing to the Super Bowl, would have loved to play the Bills.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as a narrative, I told Vincent, if you could have lined it up.
You said this last week.
If you could have lined it up anyway, what I wanted, if you say the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl, they're going to win the Super Bowl no matter what, how would you line up the teams that you'd want to beat? I would have wanted to beat Bengals, Bills, Bucks, just to shut everybody up. But now here we are with the team that everybody says the most shit about the Chiefs for right now.
Yep.
Because they don't have Tom Brady. You have your greatest opportunity to shut everybody up if you beat the Bengals this week. And nobody believes in the Chiefs, which is what the Bengals have been telling themselves for the last 10 weeks.
What are your
for
thoughts,
the last
Logan?
2 years?
After Truman's 25-minute monologue,
Sorry,
Logan,
I
what are
just-
your
Yeah,
thoughts?
that was great oratory, Truman. You should be very proud of that.
Truman is good at it. He's good at it. He's very good at controlling the conversation.
Thank you.
Let me see if I can make an attempt to match that. I'm not a weekly podcaster like
Right.
Truman.
This
but
is,
I'll
I gotta
speak.
have clips to post on Twitter.
Absolutely. let me summon some up. That was a lot to digest. So, the Bengals. Classic underdog story 2 years in a row, despite what the statistics would tell you. The NFL's redheaded stepchild.
Without Andy Dalton, surprisingly.
Without Andy Dalton. For the first time,
You're good.
in a long time, find themselves as favorites. Who knows if that'll hold throughout the week. But, at least as we're recording this, find themselves as favorites. Do they summon the willpower to win when they should win, or will they bungle it up? Do I think they have the capacity to hold it together under the guidance of Joe Cool? I do. Do I think the Bengals are going to put on a field day in the trenches? Possibly, dependent upon Frank Clark and what kind of Frank Clark we're going to get. If my memory serves
and
correct,
Chris Jones. Yeah, sorry.
if my memory serves correctly, they were mostly non-factors for the run game for the Bengals the last 3 meetings. If they continue to be non-factors, to the best of my recollection, then I think the script plays out pretty much the same as last year. Maybe you flip the score at halftime around. Someone's going to get up early. There's going to be a comeback. It'll be tight at the end. But I believe the Bengals put out 27-24 because how could it be any other score?
That's fair. It's absolutely.
Listen,
That's
I
absolutely what I
have
expect
no
you to say.
problem with that. So that scoreline.
Listen, I get it. I do get it. I was going to say Vincent is asleep, but Vincent had something that he did want to add. Also, Joe Mixon last year in the playoffs, 21 carries, 88 yards, so averaging about 4 yards a carry, for the record.
I would say your defense is notably worse this year.
No. Sorry, that's as a Chiefs fan, I would say that's objectively incorrect.
Well, then, for your sake, I would hope not, because then I would guarantee the win.
This Chiefs defense is putting up better points per game numbers.
Are
They're
we?
just not turning the ball over. That's the only
what we're
issue.
doing.
If this Chiefs team could have as many turnovers as they had last year, this would be.
Hold on.
Oh,
I
wait.
need to pull up the Chiefs' schedule real quick, because if my memory serves me correct, they were giving up points left and right to truly anemic offenses to end the year. Texans, Broncos.
turnovers.
Who else was in there?
Again, we talked turnovers. The Chiefs' offense was turning the ball over in the red zone.
Yeah.
There's a million fucking dropped punts. The special teams has
Oh
been a
my
fucking
gosh.
nightmare. That's the truth. I saw somebody on the radio saying that they think the Bengals will probably run one back in the playoffs, and I would not be shocked. I don't know how
I
you
don't
guys'
even think
returners
we've
are,
done
but-
that this. Okay.
No, only like
White-
4
white
teams have
guys.
done it this year.
White guys,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
lunch
Oh,
pail,
yeah,
hard
yeah,
workers.
Yeah,
Gritty, coach's son,
Yes.
sneaky athletic.
yeah. So
Trent
got-
Irwin, I believe, is the main one, and then the guy we picked up from the 49ers is the other one.
I am looking at it now. The Chiefs' defense has allowed more than 30 points one time this year against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Week 4.
We won that game, right?
Yes. In fact, the only games that the Chiefs have lost this year, they allowed under 30 points. 20,
That's wild.
20 points to the Colts, which was I want to know what Chris Jones said to Matt Ryan so bad. He must have called him
Me too.
the hard H. Like
The hard
I don't know how much you can call somebody a cracker, but man, you would I don't even know how you say it. Yeah, he must have said every white person slur there is in the book to get a fucking
a flag
an
for
unsportsmanlike
talking.
Yeah, at the end of the game for talking to Matt Ryan. Yeah. They lost to the Bills. They allowed 24 points in that game, and they lost to the Bengals. They allowed 27 points in that game.
Yep, 27-24. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so Truman, Logan has given his score prediction of 27-24 Bengals.
Sorry, he was looking up the Chiefs defense giving up. I don't want to. Sorry, we did cut him off from his point.
Oh, that's true. We do keep cutting him off.
Sorry, I do want to make sure that you rounded out
Yeah,
your
that's
point, rounded
okay.
out your prediction. Sorry.
That's one of the downsides of not being able to see your guys' faces, so I do apologize for being so far away. The point I was making is not in total points allowed relative to 30. It's that terrible offenses are having their best / one of their best performances against the Chiefs,
That's fair.
like
The-
the Broncos and the Texans.
The
so on
only
and
true
so
examples of that were the Broncos. I would say the Texans, again, just the turnovers were so frustrating. And it was the same thing with the Broncos. We gave the Broncos short fields like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, they
It's
did
fucking-
score 7 points off of something that we fumbled on the 4.
But
so.
24 points is tied for the second most points allowed for the Texans. They scored 24 against the Chargers defense. That was also ranked about the same level as the Chiefs defense at the end of the year. And they did score 32 against the Colts defense, which I would say is one of the better defenses. So
That's fair.
What we're trying to say is any given Sunday, it totally applies in the AFC Championship game.
Oh, absolutely. I was not trying to insinuate that at all.
No,
I'm
yeah,
just saying trend-wise, I like
Listen,
what I'm seeing there relative to the Bengals.
Listen, Logan. If I was a Bengals fan, I'd like what I see with the Chiefs too.
again,
That's why me and Truman aren't talking on the podcast that we're so confident about this game.
yes. And Vincent is coming here to tell his one stat. Vincent, say your stat.
I have a couple of stats actually.
Oh, you've
'cause
got a
I
couple
like
stats. I
stats.
thought you
One,
said-
I
Let's
love
go.
the prediction because 27 is my favorite number, and the Bengals have won 5 games at 27 points this season.
I know it's funny because
Let's
you didn't even mention
go.
27. You didn't even mention it, but Logan has already also mentioned 27-24 as his score prediction.
Yes. Well, I heard you guys say that when I was on the thing, which is why I said I love the prediction of 27-24.
Oh,
I,
were you
I
listening?
said that. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then also, the Bengals have not lost a game where they have scored at least 21 points.
That was the stat that I knew you wanted to throw
That's
out there.
weird.
Yeah. Our highest losing game was 20 points to, it was the shit team, Cowboys, I believe. And then our other 3 losses were all at 17 points. So if we score at least
So you're
21
referring to
points,
the
it's fucking
Cowboys
lights out,
as the
baby.
shit
That's all I'm
team?
saying.
Yes, a top 4 in the NFC Cowboys team. Yes, but yes, that is fair.
I love it. I love
Cowboys.
easy.
I
Yes.
refuse to respect the team. Yeah, so that's all I've got for you.
What was your final score?
Uh,
I know you're 27.
27, and then give me 27-20. Fuck you guys.
How do we score 20? Vincent?
2 field goals, 2 touchdowns.
Listen, the Chiefs in their 3 losses have scored 17, 20, and 24. So they're averaging right around 20.
Yeah.
They're averaging 20.3.
Who is?
The Chiefs.
Per
In
game?
their losses.
Oh, no losses.
They scored. So
Damn.
in a way, the thing is that the evidence would suggest that both these teams are great in a shootout. So if this game goes over the 24-point threshold or the 20-point threshold, all bets are off, brother.
Bro, fucking.
Wait, so the Chiefs scored 24 points.
Haven't lost a game where they scored more than 24 points. And the Bengals have not lost a game where they've scored more than 20 points.
I don't like stats.
I watched the first drive of the Bengals Bills game, and I was like, damn, this is about to be fucking like 35-28. And then that is not what happened.
Yeah.
So
No,
that
it
was I was expecting a shootout last week. So I would not be surprised to see a shootout. this
Again,
week.
I would have loved to see that game in the not snow, but also the Bills down the stretch were just such a shell of who they were. I didn't believe in the Bills one bit once they got to the playoffs. I was not scared of the Bills. I don't even know. They just got too hurt on defense. You know,
Yep.
what happened to DeMar Hamlin is absolutely a tragedy, but at the same time, it is also they were already onto a second string safety, and they lost him. And then towards the end of the game there against the Bengals, Tre'Davious White and Jordan Poyer slam into each other, and they fucking both go out with head injuries into concussion protocol, so that's brutal.
yeah.
The Bengals lost Von Miller, so their pass rush was severely depleted. It just hadn't been this. Their pass rush has not been the same since Von Miller was out. Ed Oliver and Greg Russo, great players still, but I just think Chris Jones, the All-Pro defensive tackle Chris Jones, I think is due to fucking breakthrough.
Yeah, 14 games without a sack.
No playoff sacks for Chris Jones, which is just an insane stat that I think is in the back of his head, which is maybe a negative also. And Joe Burrow is slippier.
Slipperier.
Yes,
He's
slipperier.
wet.
Yes, he is wet in the pocket. So that people don't give him credit for because he looks unathletic and he runs unathletic. He doesn't look unathletic when he moves.
But he's a lunch pail kind of guy.
But he's real lunch pail, real sneaky athletic, real date the coach's daughter, real first in last out gym
Real
rat kind
intelligent. Like you always say coach's son?
of guy. I don't think so. I think he
deceptive-
said dates coach's daughter, which is
Deceptive speed.
incest there.
Coach's son. First in, last out.
Coach's son who's dating the coach's daughter. Wait a minute. Wait.
For Nick Saban.
Can I lay you up for an argument I know you've been wanting to have? I don't know if you've had this argument or not while I was asleep on the couch or not.
Sure. This is.
How would you like to know if, or what would you like to say to people that are like, damn, Joe Burrow has an amazing record on the road and Patrick Mahomes has never won a playoff game?
Which is
away
what we
from home.
ran into.
Yeah.
That's okay. So
And an amazing record in primetime.
that was the one. Yeah, he does have a great primetime record also, apparently, according to Logan. I didn't know about Joe Burrow's primetime record. I don't really. Patrick Mahomes is fine in primetime also. He's been pretty good, I would say, but he hasn't had that many letdowns on primetime, I don't believe, other than maybe the Super Bowl, but I believe that's an offensive line letdown where 5 guys were playing positions they've never played before.
Copium.
Just taking a breath.
Some multi-year assault there. Love it.
Yes.
Dude, we're still mad.
Yeah.
Buccaneers fans try to talk shit like, dude, your offensive line sucks. Bro, our left tackle moved to right tackle, our right guard moved to left guard, and then we started 3 backups on the left side.
Yes, it was just
The most
If
fragile house of cards.
it's just frustrating because Eric Fisher tore his Achilles on like the last drive against the fucking garbage time against the Bills in the AFC Championship game.
Yep.
That's why it's so frustrating. Okay, so sorry. For your answer, yes, I think it is. Yes, that is a stupid thing that I had to face on Twitter where somebody was like, well, Joe Burrow is better than Patrick Mahomes because he has more road playoff wins. My motherfucking guy. Patrick Mahomes has not had to play on the road in the playoffs because he's so good in the regular season. God, that was some fucking annoying shit where they're like, well, Joe Burrow's never lost a playoff game on the road except for, his neutral site game in the Super Bowl. It's just like he's played like 2. He's played 3 road playoff games.
Also, it wasn't a neutral site game.
Oh, right, that's right. You guys had to do the same fucking thing we did. So yeah, right.
Yeah, now you know how it feels.
Sorry, yeah, sorry. He lost on the. Sorry, he did lose on the road. You're right. Yes, sorry. Yes, so he's 3-1 on the road, and they're like, well, Patrick Mahomes only really 0-1 on the road in the playoffs because he played the Bucs at their own.
They
home
really
stadium.
should investigate that, by the way. They really should investigate moving the Super Bowl to a different site to make it actually neutral. So there's no home.
There's
2
nothing you
home
can
Super
do.
Bowls in a row.
All that shit is signed. There's people sell their fucking soul. I don't know how Indianapolis keeps getting Super Bowls. Some weird bribery, soul selling, dick sucking, soul sucking shit is going on in fucking awarding Super Bowls that
Anyway,
we
Truman,
cannot interfere.
give us your score prediction.
Sorry, what were you gonna say, Logan?
Did you want my actual thoughts on Burrow versus Mahomes being the best quarterback? I think because Burrow is so much younger than Mahomes that unless Mahomes tail spins, he will never catch up.
I think that's fair.
Like,
Mahomes
even
has said
at
such a
their-
great head start.
Yes. I think unless Mahomes truly tail spins, like his career has been so good for so many years now, and because time is linear and they can only both progress, even if Joe just is the second best in the NFL or the best in the NFL for years to come, it won't cover the gap for Patrick, unless he doesn't have an early retirement, so on and so forth.
I think that one thing that people need to realize is that Joe being like, quote, the second best in the NFL is no slight to Joe Burrow.
No, not at all. Patrick Mahomes lit the NFL world on fire when he entered the league. For real. And, there's absolutely no slander at all in running up second next to that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, right.
listen, I didn't want to admit that last year, I was in denial. I didn't want to admit that Joe Burrow was good. Unfortunately, this year, Joe Burrow said, fuck all the haters. So I think you have to tip your cap, especially with the collapse of the Bills in these last couple of weeks, that Joe Burrow is the second best quarterback in the NFL. I don't think it's particularly close anymore.
That's fair.
Actually, you two inspired a meme in one of my favorite group chats because both of you lamented on here about how he's just not an accurate quarterback. So every single highlight that has him throwing an absolute laser we have hashtag inaccurate quarterback in the chat.
Oh,
And
come
it's been a
on.
good one. It's been a good meme for over a year now. Or I guess a year now.
Damn,
pretty
what
much.
group? What
Since
group chat is
Damn,
that?
hey, why aren't they watching the
Chris,
show?
Brian, and I.
Damn, man. Fucking,
They probably are.
Damn, you know what they
Secret
say.
cloud.
You know, if you're not in the group chat off of your main group chat, then you're the one they're excluding. That's what they say. So, man, that's really brutal.
Truman, give us your score.
Okay, I've got 2 scores. I think realistically, if Mahomes is at 80% of if Mahomes is seriously hobbled, if he comes out there, he's the worst case scenario for the high ankle sprain. I think if everything goes right, where you guys rush 3, you guys sack Mahomes 6 times or whatever because he can't move around in the pocket, what a lot of Bengals fans believe is about to happen. If that happens, 27-21 Bengals. That's what I have. 27, shout out, Bengals always scoring 21. 27. 21 Chiefs. There's probably an interception in the second half by Mahomes that probably flips this game or puts this game away for him.
Or seals it, yeah.
If Mahomes isn't hurt, if Mahomes is 80 to 90% of who he can be, if Mahomes is who we saw when he was hurt at the beginning of the season in 2019, and I believe the game is close the whole time or for a lot of the time, my selection, because based on a lot of the things that we talk about, I have 31-17 Chiefs.
Oh my god!
Because the Bengals don't lose when they go
That's
over but the Bengals don't lose when they go over 20. So I got to have it under 20, and the Chiefs don't lose when they go over 24. So 31.
You have to.
I do not believe
You know what, Truman? I don't hate it.
Right. If you believe that team is going to win, you have to follow the narrative that you believe that will happen. We do this. I do this when I'm like betting when I'm trying to bet a game total in line, where I'm like, okay, if the Chiefs are going to win by 8.5, then this game's got to go over, because this game's got to be high scoring. It's got to be 31-17 or whatever. And that's how I feel about this game here. It's the Bengals don't lose if they go over 20.
What is the over-under? I didn't even look.
The over-under is 47.5. So 31-17 puts you just over. The Chiefs, 31-17, they cover the alternate spread. I believe that the defense probably isn't ready to keep them under 20 points. But I got to play all the narratives. I also, if this happens, I think Joe Burrow has thrown 2 interceptions, or they fumbled the ball twice. Maybe a strip sack from Chris Jones.
Got to be a major.
Chris Jones has got to have at least 2 sacks. Frank Clark's got to have 2 sacks also to move him into like second or third place on playoff sacks. The Chiefs defense will have to have 4 sacks at least of Joe Burrow for that to happen, and there will
Not
have to
going to
be a
happen.
turnover.
They're going to run the ball.
No, I believe.
Not going to happen.
I'm just saying, if it's going to happen, it's going to be because they sacked Joe Burrow. And I think
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think I think this Chiefs defense is absolutely capable of sacking Joe Burrow, but I do not know if it will happen.
If it's going to be 31-17, that has to happen.
It has to happen if it's going to be that.
So I'm going to go with the best take on the show so far.
Absolutely.
Similar to Logan's take. I'm going to put on my full Chiefs rose-colored glasses and say Chiefs 27, Bengals 24. I will not elaborate. I will only tell you that it's because I'm a Chiefs fan and I can't pick them to lose. But that is supposing that the turnover battle is even. If the turnover battle is not even, the Bengals will be winning the game. Oh. And if Mahomes is injured, I'm looking at like a 28-10 Bengals. If Mahomes is seriously hobbled, I'm like Bengals by like 14 plus.
Here, one last weird stat I will say for both the 27-24 Bengals games that they've won, Joe Burrow has been sacked 1 time for 7 yards in both games.
What?
So I will say, if we are in the 4th quarter and Joe Burrow has been sacked once for 7 yards, I will be freaking the fuck out, man. I will be losing my mind. Very scared of what's about to happen.
What happens if he gets sacked for 8 or 6 yards?
Then we're fine. We've broken the curse. If Joe Burrow gets sacked once for like 4 yards, you guys should be fucking scared. Because that shit, it means that we are in for a different thing. But
It means it's scripted.
yes, but if he gets sacked one time for 7 yards, I'm going to be scared, worried, concerned.
Understandable.
I'll start to have PTSD like every time I hear offsides number 55 defense. Same thing.
It's not even funny.
It's kind of funny.
Not.
Logan laughed.
It's never funny, man. That shit still hurts.
Hey, Vincent laughed. All right. That about does it for fuck, man. It has been an hour and a half.
I'm really sorry I kept pulling you off the rails, boys.
No, I pulled it. I mean, listen, I monologued
It's
for
an
10
AFC
minutes in the middle
Championship
of the
preview.
episode.
It's going to be a little bit longer.
Right, and maybe we don't need to really talk about. We can talk about. I think we saved maybe some of these NFL topics. We don't need to do all this stuff.
Head straight to that top 5.
We can save some of that for next week, or Owen can do some of this next week, and we can save some of it for the offseason. I think we can talk about the Bills being a top 3 team in the NFL in the offseason. You can talk about best Super Bowl matchups next week or the week after that.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess it won't matter next week.
Damn, you're leaving me for the solo episode that if we lose, I'm just going to be sick. I'm going to be fucking pissed as on a solo.
Perfect time for a Tottenham episode.
Oh, no, that's worse.
Because the week after that, then we'll have to do... Oh, yeah, the Tottenham's in a fucking bad spot right now.
We did win today.
Yeah, but you fucking still maybe could have...
Harry Kane scored a banger.
Fucking close still.
Doesn't matter. Harry Kane scored a banger. I'm happy.
Yes.
He tied the record. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, all right.
Save that for the Tottenham episode.
We want to... You got a parlay? I assume you don't. No, fair enough. Logan, Logan, since you're a guest on the Today's Show, give us a playoff parlay that we should be hitting.
Samaje Perine over on carries.
God damn it.
I don't care. I don't care what it is. Take the over on his carries.
I don't know if I can.
Your book offers
can
it.
you bet? I don't think my book. I don't think
you can do
FanDuel does
MGM. You can
offer
bet
it.
carries on MGM.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I got to open bet MGM. All right, hold on. I'm opening.
I
bet
think
MGM.
they're gonna look at the film and give him a disproportionate amount per touches.
That makes sense. You
And
actually
the game
can't.
plan.
You can't bet anytime touchdown score unless it's in a parlay on MGM, but you can bet carries.
Yeah, that's fucking trash.
It is weird.
Okay, well we've got the one game parlay anyway. So.
Oh, by the way, speaking of FanDuel and other betting apps, do you have to constantly reset your password for FanDuel?
I used to. I had that for
keeps
like
making
a
me
couple
reset.
times, but now I'm fine. All right,
So,
Samaje
since
Perine.
I added biometrics, I don't.
Interesting. Oh yeah, I have Face ID.
I have biometrics on my FanDuel. It keeps making me reset.
I'm
not even betting that much money.
Samaje Perine carries are not on FanDuel. Jerick
Damn.
McKinnon rushing attempts are though 6.5.
So maybe they're just
I would
not
go
out
under.
yet.
The under is plus 110, and the over is minus 150.
Yeah, that's weird.
Super weird.
Depending on where the line is, Bengals team over seems like a good one, depending on how that works out. Although, if they keep getting favorite money headed their way, that might not be as good. Like I said, if it's sitting around 23, 24, sure. If it's anything above that, your own risk.
Win total.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fucking. These are all win /totals.
I think no matter what happens, it's going to be a good game. At least
I
hope.
agree. I think this game's going to be a banger.
I really hope it is. If Mahomes comes out and is hobbling around, I think the Bengals are just going to stomp and I'm going to cry.
Flyer scenario, Mahomes is hobbling around. Bengals defense anytime touchdown score.
I don't hate that. If Mahomes is hobbling around, I might go pick that up.
God, this is all right. I'm back on FanDuel because fucking, it's just so terrible.
Sorry, I've been so focused on this game, I haven't even really put any thought into Eagles Niners yet.
Cincinnati defense. But that's what it's like to be in the playoffs. That's what it's like to be in these games. Is you just don't. That's why we're not even gonna talk Eagles Niners.
No.
I mean, we might give a score prediction. Eagles.
Eagles 31, Niners 10. I think the Niners are in for a rude
Niners
awakening.
34, Eagles 31. Actually,
What's the over under on that one?
in the Niners 45.5.
Or under.
Yeah, so actually, give me
Absolutely
Niners 24, Eagles 17.
Give me Niners 14, Eagles 19.
Interesting. All right.
Oh, and I love that one, actually.
Okay, anytime touchdown score, I got Bengals defense.
Neither of the offenses are that great, in my opinion. And the defenses are both good.
God, I can't find fucking team totals. Alternate total points. Nope. God, that's so annoying. Man, both these are just frustrating me.
Well, you look for that. You want to get into our top 5?
Yeah, hold on. Well, I'm still trying to. Well, let's finish the.
How many legs does it have to be?
Let's go three legs. You got
Okay,
how about some? You got anytime touchdown scores? Jamar Chase feels like slam dunk.
I actually, because he got what should have been 2 the last game. I think it'll be T. Higgins this time.
Okay, T. Higgins plus 155.
I don't hate it.
And so we're not including the Samaje Perine over since it's not there.
No.
So T. Higgins, ATTS Bengals team over, assuming it's not ridiculous.
I cannot find. That's also not on here, which is really annoying.
God damn, I'm the worst at this segment then. I'll do. Well, shit. You know what? Throw the over on there. Let's get an exciting game
Okay.
running.
I would throw Isaiah Pacheco anytime touchdown scorer out there, personally.
I like that.
I believe Pacheco's going to punch one in.
Like I said, if the Chiefs commit to running the ball, we are not built for it. I don't think they will.
I think Isaiah Pacheco is slowly gaining the confidence in this offense that he might.
Dude, that one
their hand.
angry run he had where he barely stepped out of bounds, that was nice to see.
I mean,
that was a sweet run.
That's the craziest part is he is fast in the open field. And you just forget that because he looks like he stomps half of his power into the ground on every single step. That you're like, how can you ever get going fast? But then he got in the open field there, and you're like, oh, holy shit! I haven't seen him in the open field. It's been so fun to watch Isaiah Pacheco just slowly get better. That is the most consistently just. He has just consistently got better every week, and it's the weirdest thing where he started out so bad at the beginning of the season. Not so bad, but I didn't believe in him at all.
The thing is that was just it looked like Clyde 2.0.
What?
It looked like Clyde 2.0
at the beginning, yeah, absolutely. Except
it looked like Clyde with less cuts.
Yes, right, yeah. But now, and he doesn't have a ton of cuts still, but he's got great vision all of a sudden.
Yeah, he does.
And he's good at just pushing the pile to get to 5 to 6 instead of fucking doing the Clyde shit where he's fucking.
I was really upset for him that he didn't score on that one run where he ran 21 miles an hour.
Okay, so right now I've got Cincinnati defense touchdown scorer, T. Higgins touchdown scorer, over 47.5, and Isaiah Pacheco touchdown scorer.
Was that plus?
That's probably pretty juicy.
Plus 5,300.
Plus 6,400.
Use an odds boost on that. Use an odds boost, get that to 73.
No, I'm gonna put that in my no sweat same game parlay. Interesting. I'll leave it.
I don't hate
so
it.
I can bet it at work tomorrow.
There you go. Put a fiver on that for.
Speaking of free bets, how did the Kansas Jayhawks do?
They lost.
Did they lose?
They did.
Yeah. And the Cats can beat Iowa State this week. They probably won't, but they could. And that'd be fucking.
Talk about Jerome Tang's Cats here, Truman.
Holy shit, man! And
the WVU basketball being favorites against Texas at home without winning a Big 12 game. That was
because the entire Big 12 is actually really, really good. Every single team is good. Like even Texas Tech, like who's gone 0-6 now in conference play, has had 8-point leads at half in their last 3 games, which is crazy.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's do the top 5 so we can get out of here. I believe Home Run Chase is going to appreciate this episode, and I don't know, our Chiefs fans. Again, this is always our more exciting content when we talk to. You should never apologize. This is what we really enjoy doing. This, I think, this is some of the more interesting stuff we do is talk to other fans, and it's kind of fun. I mean, and that's also the benefit of being smaller time podcast hosts like this is we can just sit here and argue biased versus biased. We don't have to pretend like we're like every other fan. Oh, I'm not biased. I'm looking at it pretty objectively. But at the end of the day here, both of us sitting here are huge Chiefs and Bengals fans. We both are struggling to say that the other team could possibly win the game, and we, being in the lower slot here, do have to say that there's a high possibility. There's certainly a possibility that the Bengals will win this game.
Absolutely.
I would give it a 50-50 shot for sure, at least.
I'd say like 60-40, honestly, right now. Right. It all depends on how Mahomes looks.
Anything I can say to
compared to what Owen slandered to be last year, this is like the turning of the tide.
The Bengals were bad last year. They're not good this year. I mean, You're
right.
This year.
Just better than the Chiefs.
Absolutely.
Hey, Chiefs were certainly worse than themselves.
Don't even get me started on the AFC Championship game, dude. I was pissed. and more bad things happened to me that
Mahomes should have fucking 3 Super Bowls right now. I'm pissed. All right. Okay. Let's do top 5. Logan, do you want to stick around for top 5? Top 5 movies that need a remake?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Here, let me click through.
I can go first. I I have my 5.
I feel so bad. I'm gonna put the. I feel so bad. I'm gonna put the chapters on this week's episode, and it's just gonna be intro, Chiefs Jaguars recap, Chiefs Bengals takeaway, or Chiefs Bengals preview, top 5, and the Chiefs Bengals preview is gonna be an hour 20 minutes. So good luck.
Yeah, I mean, it's our main top content.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
Your Owen's going first.
Yeah.
Here, let me get the music roll. There you go.
All right. Have you guys seen the movie Crimson Tide? I talk about it a lot.
I've played music from Crimson Tide.
It's an early 90s Denzel Washington movie. It's another submarine movie. I think it's actually better than The Hunt for the Red October, personally.
It's got a pretty sweet trombone line on a song.
It does have a good soundtrack.
Here it does.
Yep. And we played that song. It's fucking awesome.
From the Crimson Tide?
Yes.
Oh, it's great. From Crimson Tide, excuse me. But yeah, I think if Crimson Tide could be due for a remake, another 80s kind of semi-action suspense movie that could be due for better graphics.
A Top Gun sort of.
Yes,
but not
kind of.
but probably just a straight remake, not a
I mean,
not a
you
remake.
could put Denzel in there as like an admiral now. You know, he's been promoted from petty officer,
Not after what they did with Top Gun. They can't do the exact same thing as Top Gun.
but they could.
All right, fair enough.
In my opinion.
All right, number 5.
Number 4, Rush Hour. Let's get another one, baby. Come on.
Don't know if you can keep making rush hours.
You absolutely can.
Some of those jokes don't fly anymore.
That's the point.
It is a tough lane anymore for buddy comedies that are based solely on race, on them being different races, and that's why it's funny.
It's true.
There's just less of a role for that anymore.
But if Rush Hour 4 came out, are you telling me you wouldn't be excited about it?
I don't know what Chris Tucker's done in a long time, so
It doesn't need to be Chris Tucker.
I think it would get the same views as like Bad Boys Forever. Bad Boys Forever was kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Number 3, I'd like them to redo the Star Wars sequel trilogy and make good decisions. So first of all, Finn needs to end up with Rey, and Finn also needs to be a Jedi. Stormtrooper turned Jedi. Now that's a storyline.
That's a story. Yeah.
Number 2, I'm gonna stick in the submarine movies. Hunt for the Red October. I think that one could be due for a remake. Old Sean Connery movie getting a remake? Come on.
Number 1.
Cold War. Everyone loves Cold War movies. And number 1.
I do not give a shit about your submarine movies. I'll say it.
They're both great movies. You need to watch both of them. Have you not seen either of them?
No, never.
You haven't seen The Hunt for
Really?
the Red October
No.
or Crimson. Oh my.
Shut up. You haven't seen like Scream, so don't talk to me.
Shut up. Anyway, number 1. You already knew this was coming, Truman. What is my number 1 movie that needs to remake?
Train to Busan.
No. A remake.
I don't know.
Alien.
I was gonna say it, but I thought they've unearthed and fucking ruined the Alien franchise so much that I don't think you can.
They
bring
haven't
it back.
ruined it.
Although, didn't they just come out with another Alien? Or no, was that another Predator? That was another Predator movie.
Yeah.
That's right.
Listen, there's always room for more. That universe is awesome. I love it.
It's how I feel about. You feel the same way about that as I do about the Godzilla franchise.
More?
I love what they're doing. I don't care.
Big
Godzilla
monster?
versus King Kong, Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla,
Those
Kong
movies were-
Skull Island.
Those movies are great.
At some point during the pandemic, I watched all those movies and I was like, this is fun. This is a fun CGI monster fight. I don't give a
freaking
shit.
giant monsters.
It is fun to watch Kong punch big Godzilla and he falls into buildings in Tokyo. and then Kong to go down low and look at the throne so Godzilla blast a laser beam to the center of the earth because there's hollow earth theory in this is
spoil it for
canon.
me.
Sorry,
Don't spoil it for
sorry,
me. I haven't
sorry.
seen the movie yet.
Look, okay, listen. Hollow Earth theory being canon is not that big of a spoiler. And then that says, listen, not even the biggest spoiler that I could have said from Godzilla versus King Kong.
Well, I know what the biggest spoiler
Oh my God, you do?
is. Yeah.
But yeah, they've done a great job redoing those movies, and so yeah, I absolutely
on,
can get
Godzilla.
behind you
Everyone loves
doing the
Godzilla.
Alien movies. Yes.
Maybe I'll kick off the Hunt for the Red October and put more Godzilla.
Thank you. Yes. Keep it going.
They'll redo the Godzilla 2000s
Yep.
and make Zilla not terrible.
Fair enough. Logan, you got 5?
I'm spamming movie list rapidly. I've got 3.
All right, I can go. I can go for now. All right, I'll start it off. I will say, I think the number 1 genre that can always do with remakes is horror films. Because
Yeah, they can add.
so many times in the past, some of them need to be left alone. But at the same time, because some of them had such good acting and stuff that it was, nice. But there's also some of them that had pretty good acting, but they weren't incredible.
Yeah.
But an update for the CGI and what you could do with villains could go up so much more.
Yeah.
So with that being said, number 5, I have Nightmare on Elm Street, which then leads to number 4, Friday the 13th, which then, of course, this is not number 3, but you could lump this together, a redo of the Freddy versus Jason team up. I believe both those, especially Freddy Krueger, with today's CGI and updated effects and everything that you could do.
Spooky.
Yes, be fucking awesome. You could do so much better with Nightmare on Elm Street to show dreams, to show transitions, to do all that shit. Absolutely.
Imagine if they did Freddy Krueger dreams like they did the Babadook dreams.
Yeah. Well, and I think Friday the 13th, I think you could almost do, it would be tough to do, but almost like a found footage, kind of how they did Blair Witch Project.
Oh fuck, that'd be terrifying,
with
dude.
Freddy or with Jason in the woods at the lake. That'd be kind of fun.
Aw, man, that'd be scary as hell.
Which then leads to Jason versus Freddy. Listen, it was a ridiculous concept that was so crazy, so stupid, but it'd be great to see him redo it again.
Dude, I'm getting fucking goosebumps and my heart rate started increasing just thinking
That's what I'm
about
saying.
that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's scary.
All right. Number 3. This is one that's already coming.
Joss.
This is one that's coming soon. It's coming in like 2024. Blade. I think Blade will be very
Yes, it's a good one.
because that one is getting remade with Mahershala Ali instead of Wesley Snipes in the Blade. Especially if they can my only concern is there's already been like leaks that there's issues with the plot and there's been fighting on the set. Maybe it's just the curse of a Blade franchise. Same with like the curse of a Hulk movie. It's got to be terrible. And so maybe that's an issue. Maybe Mahershala Ali's laying there like Wesley Snipes was, and they fucking lays on the medical table and they have to CGI open his eyes again.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yes. Wesley Snipes was so mad during filming that during a scene he refused to open his eyes. So because they couldn't get him to open his eyes, they CGI opened his eyes to start the fight scene.
I haven't seen any
Blade,
Blade.
in
That's
Blade
pretty
3.
insane.
I have not seen that movie, but I've seen a video breaking down why that is such a bad movie. So there you go. All right, so that's number 3. Number 2, Star Wars Episode 9.
Good answer. And
Somehow Star Wars Episode 9 returned.
I to this day, I cannot believe. And somehow Palpatine returned. Is at least 10 people looked at that. Somebody wrote it, 2 editors looked at it, a producer looked at it, a director was then handed the script, and all of the assistants looked at it and said, "Yeah, this is
And
okay."
Oscar Isaac still said it. That's crazy. It's at one point somebody.
Oscar Isaac did that interview like, "They fly now." Fucking terrible.
Come on.
They fly now.
Come on.
Bro, they had jetpacks since the Clone Wars, dude.
Somehow Palpatine returned. Come on, guys. You don't be shy. It's a movie. You can tell us how he returned. Come on. You can make up anything. It's fake Space Wars. So you can let me. Number 1. This is a movie I'm almost positive that you have never heard of or seen. But it's the movie that inspired me to make this entire list. So we went and saw Megan last night. Me and Joe did.
Yeah.
Not me too. Don't look over this. Joe is my horror film girlfriend. And I am Joe's horror film girlfriend also.
Your horror.
Horror. Yes. Me and Joe go and see horror films with each other because neither of our girlfriends want to go watch horror films. Which is
Same.
nice. Hey, you want to come along? Yeah,
No.
we'll invite you next time.
Fuck
what?
no.
Oh, you don't want to go see?
Yeah, fuck no.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, you can hang out with the girls.
I'd rather watch
Crochet.
Love Island with Tina and the gals. I've heard Love Island gets lit. Honestly, I've heard it gets hype.
Let's watch Love Boat.
Oh, Love Boat. Oh god.
Fair enough.
What about Joke Boat?
Okay, but Megan was like a AI thing. It's AI becoming too sentient and it
Right. No,
taking over the
I've
world.
seen the trailer. They like tell
Not taking over the world, but
they
yeah, it
tell
becomes
Megan
evil.
to protect the daughter, and then she
It's
takes too serious.
every AI horror film ever, but it's done pretty well.
Yeah.
And my only complaint, again, stop making PG-13 horror films.
I
It
swear
just doesn't make any sense.
Okay. But what is this movie that you swear I've never seen?
This movie that you've never seen is called Maximum Overdrive.
I've heard of this movie.
Maximum
actually.
Overdrive is a horror film where all the electronic devices turn against humans and try to kill them.
Like toasters and stuff.
Yes, like toasters. What?
Like Smart House?
Yes, like Smart House, but scarier. Yes, yes. In a way, like Smart House, but not like Smart House. So, like the motorcycle bikes, like start to fucking like take off when people are driving them because they're gonna fucking kill the people. Or you see like a saw that isn't plugged in, like going down the street chasing somebody. Like
are they making fun of that in Transformers 3? Then
like G-Force, sure. Yes, exactly, like the Mickey cartoon episode. Yes, absolutely, yes. There's, I get a lot of my horror inspiration from Mickey cartoons, to be fair.
The Code.
The Code. But essentially, it's all like machines turning on people to like kill people in just the dumbest shit possible. Like the guy's like hiding in a tool shed, and he can hear like the chainsaw start trying, just like, "Rrr, rrr," and the chainsaw like starts coming after him. It's so funny. But the thing is that deserves a remake, especially in the digital age of 2021, where your fucking Amazon Alexa or your fucking Google Home could be fucking saying shit to you. Like, hey, get him, he's in the living room. Or, hey, you better fucking run. Or, or we're gonna get you. Fucking, it would be perfect. Where your car has GPS and all this shit, and it does lane keep assist. Your Teslas could be self-driving themselves off the bridges to murder you. Yes, yeah, they already do that. They could be self-driving into other Teslas on purpose. They could see a semi coming. They talk to the semi. They fucking slam into each other.
They could see a baby and a grandma in the crosswalk and drift to hit them both.
Yes, it could be perfect. And that's my number one movie that I believe deserves a remake. We should watch the old one and just talk about it. Yeah, so number 5, Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 4, Friday the 13th. Number 3, Blade. Number 2, Star Wars Episode 9. And number 1, Maximum Overdrive. Thank you.
A lot to think about there, Logan. Do you have a list?
Yes, I do.
All right,
Man,
he's ready.
And I really loved your guys' list. I do want to throw it. I do want to throw an honorable mention in there.
Okay.
All right.
That is the Star Wars sequel trilogy, because turning your ship around and blasting at light speed to destroy the galaxy-wide ship completely fucking undermines the whole point of Star Wars. It is the single worst movie decision of all time. Of all time.
If you can just start light speeding your ships through other ships to destroy them.
Yes, because the whole purpose of the Death Star is that it can blow up a planet. But if that implies anything that moves at light speed, which they've had in that technology the entire time, can destroy anything larger than itself, which makes sense in real physics, but not Star Wars suspension of belief physics.
That's fair.
Like the Death Star is pointless. Starkiller Base is pointless. The super ships are pointless. Literally any drone since the episode 1 that can move at light speed could destroy an entire galaxy.
As they say, this is pod racing.
This is pod racing. Number 5, and I'm really salty that Owen brought it up earlier, but it's Transformers.
Fair enough.
Michael Bay ruined all the current generations of Transformers.
New one coming out.
Wait, huh? You didn't like Transformers 1?
Owen loves Transformers. This is a bad time to
No.
talk
What?
about it.
Transformers
Owen
1
in
is
love with
great.
Transformers.
It is not great. Not in any contemporary lens. Maybe if you were a teenager or preteen when it came out and you thought Megan Fox was hot.
Well, that's just ridiculous. Who would think that?
Who would think that? But if you take a breath and watch it again, just try to remove your nostalgia from it.
I'm sorry. I will do my best. No promises, though.
Sorry,
Yeah,
we're pulling up a teaser trailer for Transformers Rise of the Beast that's coming out in 2023.
Just say that title one more time.
Rise of the Beasts.
Exactly. That's where we're at with Transformers.
It's a prequel, it looks like.
Yeah.
I think
great.
they're going to
Love
insinuate that mechanical aliens have been living in the forest for millions of years undetected.
Hey, more than meets the eye, Truman.
They better be
More than
transforming
meets
from trees.
Robots-
They better be made of wood. And fuck me, that would be funny.
Robots in disguise, Truman.
Shut up.
All right. Number 4, The Land Before Time.
Oh, fuck yes.
That's a good one. That's
A
a good
Land Before Time is destined for a modern computer animation remake right
Dude,
now.
they better
It's
make
been
those
long
leaves
enough.
look just as delicious.
They absolutely will. Land Before Time.
If we get Landed Before Time, I also want a remake of that really shitty Dinosaurs movie also, where they had
Dinosaur?
the hand puppets from McDonald's. I just want the hand puppets from
Dinosaur,
McDonald's.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just Dinosaur, yeah. Not the show Dinosaurs, which is a fucking banger.
Yeah, completely different.
Now, number 3 is not a critique on the movie because it's one of my all-time favorite movies, but I think enough time has passed that you can reinvent it in a way to make it worthwhile making it again
Oh, yeah. My whole list was like that. I liked every single movie on my list except for the Star Wars ones.
The Princess Bride.
That's tough.
Is that allowed?
I think 100% depending on your casting director, there are enough contemporary actors and actresses that could tell that story.
See, the thing is that I'd be afraid that they put Tom Holland in there.
I worry that some of the CGI and like bad effects are part of the charm of that movie. That I don't know if you can hit the original charm, especially without Andre the Giant.
And they had much larger sets back then. They don't have nearly as large of movie sets anymore.
That would be a tough movie to remake. Princess Bride would be tough.
Yeah, I also
but it would be sick if they put the time and effort into it.
Yeah, no, but like I understand your list of
Into the mic this time.
being movies of that you liked that or remakes. Mine was basically reboots. So
I was like, Princess Bride is my second favorite movie of all time,
Yeah, it's
and
great.
I also considered. I was like, damn, I would love to see a remake. And then I sat and thought about it, and then I was like, absolutely not, actually, because I like Truman said, just the whole charm of it being from its time, it would be really hard to replicate and not suck dick.
but if it did,
I think we were actually meant to be best friends. I don't know if you knew that. Every time you're on here, we're just vibing to the match.
Exactly, just nothing but straight fire.
Right, fair enough. And that was your number 3?
that was his number 3. Yeah.
That was your number 3, right?
Number 3.
Okay.
My number 2 is the one I think most deserves to be remade. But number 1 will be the one I want remade the best. The one that most deserves to be remade is It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Ooh.
Okay.
You
I think
can
that's
tell
fair. I
that
think
story in the 21st century in a beautiful way, I think. You can keep the plot the same in general. You can keep the beats the same in general, but you can just modernize it within the context of being in the 21st century with modern technology and maybe how that interacts with the plot devices and with how much mental health has progressed in the last couple years. And that's the central theme of that movie is suicidality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of poetry I think could be done in a reboot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, listen to me. I know that you had a lot of seriousness in it, a lot of good points. That's a powerful movie. He starts part of it is he starts to cry at the end of the movie in the bar because he had returned from World War I. He was really overcome with emotion, or World War II. Can't remember which movie it was. Listen, It's a Wonderful Life, very serious movie. Hear me out. Muppets, It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a more wonderful life.
Similar to how they did a Christmas, the Christmas story. No, not
Carol?
a Christmas story. Christmas Carol, yes, with Michael Caine. Michael Caine played it completely straight. Just played it like there weren't Muppets. Well, listen, hear me out. Oh, It's a Wonderful Life with Muppets. Could you imagine Muppets all making bank runs in the Great Depression?
I would need at least one cutscene of Muppets World War One. Yeah, charge! And there's Grover like flopping around.
Oh my god! I saw on TikTok somebody did an AI of the Muppets go to Vietnam.
Of course.
It was cursed. It's just Muppets in the jungle with the helmets and everything. It was bad.
I would like to see
okay.
It's a Wonderful Life remake though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Muppets.
That would be good. Not Muppets.
All right. Sorry, Logan. All right.
Number 1, and I don't give a fuck what any of you say. I want an MCU budget for Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage as the
Hell yeah, brother.
Absolutely.
That was also a meme pick I had come up with on the couch.
It's
I was
coming.
like, give me Nick Cage's Ghost Rider again.
They've already been setting up
I
Midnight Suns, man. It's coming.
I love Nicolas Cage is Ghost Rider movie. I don't care about its 27 Rotten Tomato thing I'm looking at right now. I think it was just a victim of its time when it came out. I think you just reload that bad boy, give it the funding it deserves, let Nick Cage added again in the MCU, I think it would be fire.
Well, see, the first Ghost Rider, good. Second Ghost Rider is where we really fall apart.
I didn't know there was a second Ghost Rider.
That's the point.
Spirit of Vengeance? How do you not know of Spirit of
I
Vengeance?
can't believe the first Ghost Rider only has a 27%. Spirit of Vengeance.
27%. IMDb 5.2, Metacritic 35. These people are smoking crack.
Spirit of Vengeance is 18%.
Is great.
Hell yeah, brother.
Give me actually one honorable mention that I just thought of. Give me an Air Bud original soccer movie remake. Give me Air Bud. Give me a different golden retriever, and they need to encompass the memes that we've seen on Twitter. You know, it needs to be not from the perspective of the dog. It needs to be from the perspective of the kid who didn't make the cut because he got beat by Air Bud.
Owen.
Dad, I was trying.
I want to watch a kid shoot a dog.
Dad, I was, I practiced all those times on the empty net and in the backyard, but there was this dog, and he was just so good.
And one of the side beats is one of the kids is trans, and the legislators won't let them play, but the dog takes the spot.
Oh, no.
So that's an issue going on in West Virginia right now.
That reminds me.
They're letting dogs play?
They're banning trans athletes.
Yes, yeah.
I think we could be due for another Glory Road type movie.
But with Air Bud?
No, not with Air Bud.
Listen, I'm very concerned that Ghost Rider is going to get the Disney Plus TV show treatment. I'm concerned that I think that makes a lot of sense that they would do that to probably just a new Ghost Rider to show him fucking as an evil Knievel, and then
hey, there's one that
making
they
a
could
deal
do.
with the devil and
a Green Lantern reboot. They desperately need to remake that movie.
Maybe James Gunn's doing a whole reboot of the whole DCEU, so we'll see. Besides the things that he's already done.
Wait,
and
does that mean we get a new X-Men 3?
No, that is MCU.
Fuck.
Which is the X-Men are coming, but as I'm afraid that would happen to Ghost Rider, I think a raunchy, like Adult Swim version, not Adult Swim, but I'm not sure where else it would fit. Maybe HBO Max kind of thing of a raunchy comedy about a dog playing soccer and just all the people around them being like, the fucking dog cannot play. And the coach is like, but I believe in him.
Why the fuck are we still on Air Bud?
Everybody else just plays it
Ted,
straight.
but it's Air Bud.
Alternative idea. Air Bud walks on in Ted Lasso.
Now we're talking. Believe.
The first dog to play for the MLS.
Are you guys ready for the actual movie most deserving of a remake that no one has mentioned?
Is this your one?
This is my one.
List?
I don't have a
1
top
through
5, but I've got
is
a
this.
1. The Iron Giant.
Ooh.
It needs
I
it
almost
so
did
bad.
Iron Giant, but I did Land Before Time instead because Iron Giant's newer.
That could bang. That could bang.
But the animation style is so.
But they could do a live action.
I was like, give me live action Iron Giant.
No, I think live action
We're
Iron
ready
Giant.
for
I
it.
think part of the charm of Iron Giant is the animation style. That I think you would ruin it with live action. Look at Ready Player One.
That's a good
What
point.
about Ready Player One? Was it
Look
supposed to
at
be
Got
literally-
Iron Giant in it.
Oh, that's you're right. That counts as our Iron Giant reboot. My bad. Sorry, I don't fuck
I'm just
myself.
saying, but Iron Giant was not as charming. They also didn't capture the essence of Iron Giant. I also worry about capturing what Iron Giant was actually about, where he was a gentle giant and not for mostly for defense and all this shit. And then they'll
No, you need a big ass robot that's going to scare the fucking shit out of you, but he's not scary.
Listen to me.
Which is a lot better conved in live action.
maybe
Sponsored by Army ROTC.
We can combine our ideas.
The Iron Giant on Elm Street.
An Iron Giant found footage horror film where they're running from the Iron Giant the whole movie,
in
and
a
it
dark
turns.
forest and it's fucking stomping and they're like, where is it? Where is it? And like the stomping stops.
And
or
in that
something.
dark forest, there are delicious leaves.
Yes. And then it turns out that the Iron Giant is not hunting anybody. He's just like trying to fucking walk around, and it's like, oh my god, ah! Like Cloverfield, but Iron Giant.
I haven't seen
Yes,
Cloverfield. Isn't that like a giant alien in New York City?
No, it's Godzilla.
It's Godzilla?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, right? Anybody? Have you seen Cloverfield?
I know of Cloverfield. I also have never heard of it being related to Godzilla.
I'm pretty sure Cloverfield is.
I thought it was a giant like.
I think in my head it's more War of the Worlds than
I think
it is Godzilla.
Cloverfield is related to.
I haven't seen Cloverfield. I qualified as movies that I was too scared to watch because I hate horror movies.
Yeah, also just I don't like horror, not for the reason most people hate horror. I just can't take it seriously, and I end up laughing a lot because I like cannot suspend my disbelief long enough to like actually be scared. I'm just like, damn, it's just kind of funny.
I don't know. I'm kind of cringe and a little bitch when it comes to horror movies.
There's a couple. Okay.
I know you like don't see the monster very much.
Okay, okay. You're right. Okay, it's an underwater life form that appears in Cloverfield. They don't really have pictures of it, yeah, because it's kind of like a.
The whole point is that you don't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. It kind of looks like that, I guess. It looks like a bat almost, like a vampire bat.
Cute.
I don't know what to tell you on that one. All right, fair enough. All right.
2.5 hour episode.
Yeah, Logan, we should let you out of here.
All right. I will head to bed. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I love being on Dahm, That's True, the best sports podcast on Twitch, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to your podcasts.
Hey, yo.
And,
YouTube.
comment,
subscribe.
I'll expect an incredibly cordial, well-reasoned, friendly discourse during and after the AFC Championship game.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm certainly not turning off my phone. Yeah, that's fine.
Hey,
Listen,
the last time you said that, you did get cat pictures.
I know, and I will respond. I will try if we do not talk about the refereeing. I think that's I've tried to talk to Home Run Chase. We do it. We talk through the games, but at the same time, me and Owen have
I don't like
a
talking.
narrative about Jamar Chase pushing off
We do.
that we firmly believe in.
Oh, I push that narrative absolutely.
And last game, we were vindicated in that Jamar Chase was called for a push-off. But apparently he hasn't been called for one since that game.
Oh, no.
And so Home Run Chase was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I was like, man, it happened in the last game. But to be fair, we're a little oversensitive to it. We believe there's a couple things that the Bengals offense gets away with.
I'll just tell you that I don't like talking to, talking to an opposing team fan that isn't there with me, like, at a game. Like, one of my friends he's a Manchester City fan, and he always talks to me during Manchester City Tottenham games.
Yeah.
I hate it. I don't, that's just not a discourse that I like. Unless you're there, like, with me at a bar.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's just so many things you can say in the heat of the moment, and then you watch a replay, and you're like, okay, it was fine.
Right.
And you're like, I'm sorry for saying that.
It's like,
This seems like a good time to plug my lovely fiance for talking me off the cliff, because I was fully prepared to go nuclear on Owen after the AFC Championship game last year, because I was drunk at a bar in Buffalo watching that game for Niagara Falls for one of our best friends' engagements. So I was in Buffalo, New York, watching the AFC Championship game with Buffalo's Bills fans, and Owen came barking on Twitter. And I was wasted, and I had it all planned out to level his ass. And Hannah talked me off the cliff.
I'll say, to be fair, I caught a pretty firm bullet from him. Wait, hold on. I did catch, you were like, Patrick Mahomes is a system quarterback, or something. There's something right after. No, from Logan. Oh. Logan at me with it like right afterwards. And I was like, damn, what the fuck is going on? It's because I had said something about Burrow. Last time they played, I just kept saying that Burrow just keeps getting lucky. He just throws up jump balls.
Important context. Every time the Bengals scored a point after halftime, Bills fans bought me shots. So for every time points went on the board, I was getting like 2 to 4 shots.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
That just vindicates
because you guys scored 4 times after halftime.
That vindicates what I feel about Bills fans, that they're very salty people.
Well, and they ain't going to win a Super Bowl. At least not in the next 5 years, probably.
Womp womp.
Nope.
Not with Von Miller's contract.
And neither were the Bengals.
We'll see.
All comes down to this is your shot.
Execution.
Okay, I said it at the beginning of this year, to Owen's dismay. This is the year, if the Bengals were to win the Super Bowl, it will be before all the contracts go out and the defense is destroyed by the cap. And
absolutely.
It all falls apart this year.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, Burrow can sign his extension this year. Then it's Chase and Higgins the next year.
Higgins is due now.
Oh, Higgins is due now. So you got to play and you got to let Higgins walk because you got to sign Chase, right?
You have to.
And you can't.
Bengals Nation has accepted Higgins is gone.
And I mean,
Jesse Bates is gone.
And if you're signing Burrow and Chase, I mean, that's $45 million minimum for Burrow.
Tyler Boyd's also gone, by the way.
Oh my, yeah.
3 of our 4 corners are gone. 3 of our 4 defensive linemen are gone. 1 of the linebackers is gone.
See,
or
this,
let me rephrase that: unrestricted free agents.
see, this
And
is,
they're going to demand massive paydays.
Right. And this is vindication for me because I said the same thing to a Bengals fan, or I said the same thing to Chase, and I feel like he downplayed it, and I was like, you
We'll
guys
see.
are about to be in cap hell, brother.
Well, then again, we did say this about the Chiefs once Mahomes and Kelsey's contract are up to, and then,
Well-
then they offloaded Tyreek Hill and were out on our fine this year.
Yes, right. They lost Tyreek Hill. Yeah, that's always the question. Is, but I don't know. We'll see. Joe Mixon got to get paid too soon, right?
I think
Maybe.
they'll let him work.
I would
the
let
running
Joe
back.
Mixon.
I think
running back
out of
position
all
comes
those
cheap.
out of all those options, Joe Mixon can definitely go.
Yep. All right. Well, Logan, we appreciate having you on.
Absolutely, our friend.
Everybody,
Yep.
we appreciate you being here. We'll see. I will not see you next week, but you will see Owen breaking down whatever happened in this AFC Championship game. Hopefully, a happy,
sure.
happy episode.
If we
tomorrow.
lose, don't clown me too hard, please. I'll be upset.
Maybe you should just do an episode with Logan, where he's
What
just
if I just
roasting you. You should do an episode where the co-hosts are Vincent, Chase, and Logan, and just let it become Bengals talk. I think
No, I'd cry.
I think you can just sit there on your phone and just let them keep going. I think that'd be great.
Welcome
But
to
see, I have such a negative opinion about the Bengals in the Super Bowl, though. It wouldn't be a downer.
welcome to Joe. That's Burr with me, your host.
Joe Burr.
Joe.
Yes. All right. We appreciate Logan for checking in. We appreciate everybody for watching. Vincent for hanging out. Chase for watching this whenever he does. Appreciate everybody who's made it through all this. Hey, I think we can all agree on one thing here. Go Chiefs, baby. All right. We'll see you guys next week. See you guys. Peace.
Hooday.
All right.